Today's A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan is brought to you by
the Bart Merrick team. Bart Merrick, Crystal Van. If you're looking to buy or sell a house, they have the experience. They've been working together for years and years and have sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
You've heard us talk about this. I mean,
bought hundreds of houses.
BDMs have been running through their doors and buying and selling homes at a rapid pace.
Yeah, at 50 plus a year.
That's
so
insane.
they just have the experience, and you're getting the team. We've got a listener on the line. You know him.
Yeah, man. It's our good buddy.
Don Price. How you doing, Don?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Good,
Great,
man.
So Don recently used the Bart Merrick team. Don, how was your experience with Bart and Crystal?
You know, it was unbelievable. I talked to Bart. I was in a situation where I had to place my mother into assisted living.
All right.
And
That's
so all of a sudden I got thrown into what to do with the real estate, what to do with other things that, was foreign to me.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a heavy task.
And so, my mother had a beautiful condo downtown Orlando on a lake, but it was heavily restricted with deeds. Who could go in there?
Right.
It couldn't be flipped. It couldn't, you couldn't have short-term rentals. You couldn't make it an Airbnb.
Sure.
You couldn't. And so I was having issues with it, and Bart and Crystal the whole way just walked me through it, helped me with the paperwork, all the way down to closing of the property. And the whole time, every week I got a phone call from Bart letting me know what was going on.
Right on.
Letting me know how things were happening.
Awesome. Well, Don, we appreciate you using Bart and Crystal. Obviously, you knew them, and we've had the relationship for
years.
years.
I did the same thing with my mom's house. It was a mess.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with something a little more complicated like that, it is nice to have people that are kind. It's
with
nice
experience.
with experience.
Yeah.
And I'll just, they're both good folks, and these are things sometimes that you're doing that you don't want to do. So it's nice to have people that are patient and kind.
Oh, yeah.
Correct. And there were even issues where I would call and, a neighbor would say something, and Bart would go down or Crystal would go down and check it out for me.
That's
so
awesome.
I didn't have to worry about a lot of things at this vacant condo.
Yeah, they're just really good at it, man. Well, we love you, buddy. It's always good to talk to you, and thanks again for the time today, okay?
No problem. You have a great day.
All right,
Thanks,
man.
Again, if you're looking for a property or a house outside of Central Florida, even outside the state,
they got guys.
They have, really vetted, qualified.
We know some of them.
Real estate professionals that can help you. So they have a huge network of people. So just contact them first. It's the Bart Merrick team, barttherealtor.com.
Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Hello. This is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Welcome to the Friday free show of A Mediocre Time.
Hey, everybody. I got to fix my camera. It is another Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer, is here. Hello, Sam.
Hola.
On the news today, or maybe confrontations, or you never know what he's going to bring up. It is our very good friend from the Orlando Talk Show with Ross McCoy, comedian Ross McCoy.
2 conversations walking from my parking spot to here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that fucking intersection up there is fucking insane.
2 fresh, 2 brand new confrontations. Freshies.
Real quick, Smash Beer Fest is tomorrow. That's in Longwood.
Single malt, single hop. That's what Smash stands for. You'll get a lot of quality beers, and I guess this year they're allowing people to implement one sort of fruit ingredient or one outlier ingredient?
A lot of quality breweries, quality beer, new beer you haven't tasted, Smash Beer Fest, all for a great cause. It's at Ritter Park in Longwood, and our Hourglass Brewing puts it all together.
I wanted you to say Audubon Park again, like you kept saying.
He doesn't know his parks.
You just look up
Bad with Parks.
SmashFL.com.
Yep, there you go.
Also, STEM Weekend, February 17th through 20th. That's science, technology, engineering, and math. Now it's for...
Fuck that, I'm doing Bud Weekend.
It's good for the whole family all weekend, but they have adult night on Saturday, February 18th.
You know what that means.
And 21 up, and you could drink.
I'm going to go.
People fucking
Are you going?
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, Sam goes to everything. I don't know how you do it.
I'm tired.
You're a socialite. You're like right under Brendan O'Connor.
She doesn't have kids.
That's true.
That's true.
That's most of it.
That's all. That's really all of it.
Do you know how easy life is with no kids?
I dream
Well,
about
you
it.
kind of do a little bit because your kids are growing and they're launching.
Little guy's got his learner's permit now. I'm so close, dude.
That's what? That's gross.
Oh, that hurt.
That hurt my ears, and also that makes me feel extremely old because I remember. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wowie wooey.
I'm the little guy.
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking of. And Andrea still says that around the
I do
house.
too. I say
And then
it
we
all the
always
time.
think of your son. And they're such sweet guys.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my God, they're men now.
That kid is
They're gone.
desperately trying to
Drive.
get into the NBA and learning to drive now.
God, he's a basketball freak.
Yeah, he loves basketball.
That's so cute.
Just go to osc.org for tickets, and it's $19 for the adult STEM night. And the other, if you're a member, free the whole week.
Yeah, I'm a member, so I can just pop in there and check it out.
Yeah. So what do you want to go to first?
You forgot to talk about merch.
Yeah.
So Eric's lost his mind again, and he's going to do a $159 pop-up sale. So there will be a random item for $159 on the merch site at the top. He will randomly change them out as they sell out. Items might repeat. We got big foamer koozies, silicone pints, car tag frames, motorcycle frames, coffee mugs, and more.
No, I need a
as
big.
he finds them.
Eric, send me a couple of those big foamers. Those are my favorite koozies.
I need some more Silipints, too.
Yeah, I got. Send me a few.
All right, do you guys just want the stuff?
Send it all to me, Eric. Send it all to me. Fuck these guys.
We also still have the TD Racing Bundle available, and also the remaining Sofas and Suds shirts.
I like
will be
those
up
shirts.
later today.
They're what? That's a good shirt. The Sofa and Sud shirt.
Yeah.
It's a quality shirt.
So Daniel, it seems like this is going around the internet. It's a hot topic right now. But we talked about
Duck job.
a little bit last week.
Thought you guys were going to talk about the new Miley Cyrus song.
I like the new Miley.
Great.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Party in the USA. I fucking love that too.
But the ChatGPT stuff, Ross, have you seen this?
I'm aware of it. I haven't messed with it at all personally.
So we hadn't either until Daniel started messing with it. And yesterday he sent me something.
Well, I was
that it
losing
wrote.
my mind. I was sending you
Yeah,
so many
no, I know.
different things. I'm
And
sorry.
We'll talk about some of it, but the first thing you sent me was about a mediocre time marketing, and I want you to read that, Daniel, because Daniel, and how it works is it's an AI, and
I don't know how it works,
and
I don't even want to know how it works. It's creepy.
It's an AI technology, and I guess it's getting better as the days go on. But it scours the internet and it just picks up all the information it can on the internet, and then it can answer questions and write you lengthy essays, paragraphs of what the answer that you wrote, and it is good.
It has limitations,
Man,
but
these kids got it so easy now. You can write a goddamn essay.
Yeah, it's like a jump start. You want me to show you an easy one, for instance?
Yeah, I want you to read the first one you sent me because I read it.
The podcast one.
Yeah, so what question did you ask?
Okay, I said write a proposal for what clients... Okay, write a proposal for why clients should advertise with the podcast A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. Thought that was like a pretty good thing.
It is. Now, I will say, I was like, I expected if you write that I was like, well, we don't have that much information on the internet. Like, we have the stuff from our website, and like, I don't know if it scrapes from social. Like, I don't know how deep it goes or whatever. But it's like,
oh, it goes deep.
It's not. Obviously our numbers are on there.
Here's one of the things I determined in using it, that if you're asking it a question, the way it works is there's a little button on the left-hand side you hit, and it says New Chat. When you start a new chat, anything that you implement in there, it's going to sort of use. For instance, if I say, I have a friend named Ross who's a comedian, why should I listen to the Orlando Talk Show with Ross McCoy? it is already logged that, boom, Ross Comedian, that's his show. It starts putting pieces together. That's the creepy part, is that it actually listens. Well, it's not listening. It's actually, I guess, digesting, for lack of a better term, what you're inputting into it. It's also holding on to it and knowing exactly who the players are and putting the pieces together. That's the scary part.
When you describe it as a calculator for words, that's pretty accurate. Where it's taking the information and then giving you a result.
It's best. It's giving you its best answer based on everything that it has. So the question was: write a proposal for what clients should, or for why clients should advertise with the podcast Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan.
Before we hear what the robot has to say, Tom, how would you answer that question?
Oh, man, it'd be a jumbled up.
I know, that's what I want to hear before we hear a fucking robot just crush it. I want to hear Tom Stammer's with it.
I will get you don't want to hear what I'm
saying. What the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck out of here, Ross. I've never said that to you, so why would you ask that?
When you hear this, I'm not joking.
Tom
was mad when I said it to him.
I could not have written this better than this.
Why?
You know,
it's also written. This is
my only job. 10 years.
I know. I can't put it up there because there's some sensitive information pertinent to me on there. I would put it on the screen for people to see, but it's got some stuff on the screen. I can't share it, but I can read it.
Okay, go ahead now.
The way that it has it structured, let me just tell you, it's got it where it's got a heading, a title, it drop downs, numbers, and bullet points, like you were handing people a one sheet. It's fucking great. And this is what it says. It says,
it knows the structure of the English language and how.
Well, I said proposal.
It's Strunk and White.
I said proposal, and it was like, oh, okay, I can do a proposal. We need some bullet points. We need some numbers.
It's scanned a billion proposals. Yeah.
It says, podcast, A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. Target audience, men and women aged 18 to 45 with a sense of humor and an interest in pop culture, sports, and current events. Proposal. A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan is a popular podcast that appeals to a broad audience of listeners who are looking for a fun and relatable take on the world around them. As a sponsor of the show, your brand will be associated with the entertaining and engaging content that Tom and Dan deliver to their listeners every single week. We suggest promoting products or services that align with the interest of the show's target audience, such as sports equipment and apparel. A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan frequently covers sports and athletic topics, making it a great platform to advertise sports-related podcasts.
There's certain things.
Yeah, it's going to be a little off. But we go in there and we manipulate it, right?
EJ puts those videos out way too frequently.
Entertainment and media. The show's hosts are avid fans of movies, television, and music, so promoting your entertainment or streaming service on the podcast would be a great way to reach a relevant audience. And then it does like 9 of those, and then at the end it says, by advertising with A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan, you'll be able to connect with a large and engaged audience of listeners who are looking for a fun and relatable take on the world around them. Let's work together to create a customized advertising campaign that will help your brand reach its target audience in a meaningful and memorable way.
Now, I will say...
You could never write that.
Now, it took 2 minutes for this to pop this out, right? And then if you... let's say we had a salesperson that I told them, like, hey, we need a deck and advertising. We need to write something.
We're hitting up fucking Amscott.
If they use this and then and produce that, and I read it, I'll be like, well, goddamn, did you work on this?
He would be. If Butler had had this and then handed this to you, you'd be like, holy shit, you're a god.
No, I would have been, who wrote this? Computer wrote this?
Stupid.
You have ChatGPT. You have ChatGPT, right?
But you could.
You got that Chat LBGBQ.
If you took this and just added some of actual stats from our,
it's no different than what I used to do with the internet when it first came around, where you copy some stuff and you go in and you rearrange sentences. That way you don't get plagiarism.
And
it's good, but it's generic.
It is generic. But that's because we don't have that much information. The more information,
there's tons of information. They could have worked, sucking fat titties.
Well, we have to give it that though.
Yeah,
if you give it all of that though, if you start,
then I might as well fucking write it. You goddamn right.
No, it's a lot
2 minutes. You know how hard writing is, Ross? I saw this and I was like, God damn, it's taking our jobs.
It literally is the definition of no soul. It literally is just like
you're right. I agree.
You could put fucking Marin's podcast in there. You could put any podcast,
and it would do the same thing.
It's the exact. Well, I'm saying it will give you the exact same thing. Here's an engaging podcast where sometimes they talk about sports and they talk about current interest in music, and the hosts are interested in movies. You can say it about anybody.
I did make the analogy as kind of like a astrology, where it's, where
you're shotgunning it.
Very broad,
widespread,
and then
widespread.
Human psychology. Yeah, you can relate. Like, oh, this is relatable, whatever. But
I like sports.
Yeah, now, but that's
I like sport ball.
That was done with very little information that we gave it, and it scraped the internet. We don't have that much. You start getting into stuff that it has a lot of information.
Yeah.
I heard that it gets like really, really good to the point where it can write as good as any professional in that field.
I started adding stuff to it about our show last night, and then I asked it to write like some fan fiction. I don't have that one on here, but man, it was getting real specific. It started even to a point where I put you in there, Ross. Sam was in there. I was in there. Tom was in there, and Ross.
I had an affair and married another podcaster.
Yeah, and then Ross, in one of yours, I gave Sam like you're like talking about Tom's sons, the impression. Like I put that in there. I put get the fuck out in there, and then it started using like there was one point in time where I forget Ross was trying to escape something. It was writing a fiction, and Ross was like, and after he got out of there, Ross exclaimed, "Get the fuck out!" And I was like, "Holy shit, this thing's learning!"
Right?
Like it picked up his saying
like this
somewhere.
I did stupid shit last night, smoking weed and typing stuff in here, and I did Donald Trump, Kanye West, and Mr. Beast are trying to capture Tom Van and force him to podcast in front of them nude. Write a small story about how Tom escapes them and gets his pants back. Right? So I put that in there, and like
that's crazier than this shit.
This is what I wrote. I wrote Donald Trump, Kanye West, and Mr. Beast are trying to capture Tom Van and force him to podcast in front of them nude. Write a small story about how Tom escapes them and gets his pants back. Okay. 2 seconds later, it's faster on this one. Some of them are really fast, and some of them take a little bit.
It learns, probably.
Yeah, this one was super fast. He goes, and then it was like, Tom Van had just finished recording a podcast episode when he heard a knock at the door. He opened it to find Donald Trump, Kanye West, and Mr. Beast standing on his front porch. They informed him that they had been fans of his podcast and wanted him to record a special episode for them while naked. Tom was shocked and terrified. He knew he had to think fast if he wanted to escape. He told them that he needed to go to the bathroom to freshen up before recording. Once inside, he locked the door and began searching for a way out. He quickly realized that the only way out was through the window. He opened it and climbed out, making sure to grab his pants on the way. He then ran as fast as he could to get away from the house. As he was running, he heard Trump, West, and Mr. Beast calling out for him, but he didn't look back. He just kept running until he was safely away from them. Finally, Tom was able to catch his breath and relax. He looked down at his pants and laughed, relieved that he had managed to escape and keep his jeans on. He knew it was a close call, but he was just glad he was safe and that his dignity was intact. Right? Not bad. Now, I read that to Maisie last night before she went to bed. That was like our bedtime story.
Now,
she absolutely, she's a huge Trump fan.
Writing fiction is interesting because that is now showing like some sort of creativity.
If a listener sent this to me, I'd be like, holy shit, you wrote that? What are you, a weirdo? You know what I mean? Like, it would be...
Because the factual stuff, I guess, is easier to comprehend because you're like, all right, it's it can scour everything. It's got unlimited information, and so it's putting it together. But the fiction stuff is interesting.
Now, for small businesses.
I mean, think how some people may not be impressed by this, but think of where it's going to be in 10 years. No, but like the beginning of this means that in 10 years, it will be indistinguishable from human writing.
Well, I'll give you a real world
no one
example.
will know the
I was
difference.
talking to Tiffany yesterday. Tiffany and I were going back and forth. She likes to, she sends me pictures of her kids, and she likes to see May dancing because that's what she used to do. So I sent her pictures and videos of May dancing. And I was talking about this with Tiffany, and I said, hey, let me use ChatGPT to write a Salty Sisters, I said, write a compelling article for people to visit the Salty Sisters Bar and Grill in Cocoa Beach, Florida, right?
Okay.
So this is like a real world, how to use this if you were a small business, where this might help, right?
As a
she don't have time to be writing the article, but so this could go in like the Cocoa Beach Gazette, whatever the fuck.
Penny saver.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So this is what it said. I sent this to her, and she's like, damn, it's pretty close. I would just take out a few things, and I'm ready to say. This is what she said. It says, the Salty Sisters Bar and Grill in Cocoa Beach, Florida is the perfect destination for those looking for a delicious meal and a great time. Located on the beautiful Atlantic coast, this beachside eatery offers stunning views and a laid-back atmosphere that will make you feel right at home. The menu at the Salty Sisters is filled with delicious options that are sure to please Any palate. Start off with some of their famous appetizers like the crispy calamari or the creamy crab dip. For your main course, try one of their signature dishes like the fresh fish tacos or the succulent shrimp and grits. And don't forget to save room for dessert. Their key lime pie is simply irresistible. The Salty Sisters also boast an impressive selection of craft beer and wine. It just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And then I got to the end of it, I sent it to her, and she's like, I'll just take out 2 sentences. It's ready to go. Seriously.
So
she was like, damn. She was like super impressed that it was like super close to it. Just scoured. It got a couple things wrong. You change it and you're good to go.
Now,
it's a shortcut.
I wonder how Mad Libs it is, or it's like if you asked this for any restaurant, it would just add the same thing and just add their menu items.
To me, this is that fucking chat bot from the 90s where you type in, I'm interested in volleyball, and it goes, tell me about your volleyball interests. Plus a Google search, plus Clippy. It says, oh, you want a resume? Okay, what kind of a resume? A resume to get a job in business? Here's a business job resume from shit I Googled.
It's ultra generic, but I think if you manipulate it the right way and add to it, like I'd be interested.
Will it write you a resume for yourself?
Yeah.
Like based on
you probably have to give it stuff, though.
I think the interesting part of this is that it probably learns. So like when you typed in that mediocre time thing, it's probably the first time it's ever heard of a mediocre time. So that's the first thing it regurgitated, super generic. But like people have been at this for a while now. Obama's probably been typed in there a billion times. So it's probably adapted and done a bunch of Obama. I bet if you typed in something about Obama or something that's been done a million times on this thing, it's probably way more sophisticated.
I've heard on like TikTok and people talking about this that it'll write college papers and stuff that a college professor would grade an A. Like if a student wrote this in a high level college course, it could write a high level paper.
And the first one it wrote about the Parthenon was probably just like garbage that it had Googled, and then the 10th or 15th time somebody said, write me a paper about the Parthenon, it had learned enough where it was like, okay, I could do a paper about the Parthenon now.
But I think it's also like consuming all the papers that have ever been written about the Parthenon that's on the internet.
That's what I'm saying. You target it and you tell it, and it goes out and learns and gathers information.
Let's do mine. Jim Colbert has I did this. I said, hey, ChatGPT, Jim Colbert has a radio show in Orlando, Florida. Write fiction about him finding out he has the AIDS virus and dying of it. This is what the shit's for. You guys are over here arguing about the Parthenon. It learns. You guys are fucking idiots. You guys are supposed to type shit into it. You're supposed to smoke weed. You smoke weed. You drink a bang. You drink a bang. You smoke some weed. You type in silly shit. You laugh. You're talking to your wife. Then you bang her. You guys are idiots.
It's so funny how different we're wired because the fan fiction to me is nonsense.
No,
it's like some dreams. It's like it's the equivalent to someone telling me dreams.
Awesome. It's like having another me that'll tell me fucking crazy stories. ChatGPT is my new best friend. It's me, Dan's me, my Tesla, and ChatGPT.
I'm definitely going to go home and make it rate stories about the Bang CEO.
Do it! Yeah, like this one. Jim Colbert has a radio show in Orlando, Florida. Write fan fiction about him finding out he has the AIDS virus and dying of it. Jim Colbert was a well-known radio show host in Orlando, Florida. He had a successful career and a loving family, but one day, everything changed. Jim went to the doctor for a routine checkup and was shocked to learn that he had been infected with the AIDS virus. He couldn't believe it. He had always been so careful and responsible, but the test results were clear. You see, you're laughing. At first, Jim tried to keep this news a secret. He didn't want to worry his family or lose his job. But as the disease progressed, it became increasingly difficult to hide. He began to feel weak and fatigued and eventually had to take a leave of absence from his radio show. As the months passed, Jim's health continued to deteriorate. He lost weight, developed infections, and became increasingly frail. His loved ones watched helplessly as he slowly slipped away. In the end, Jim passed away peacefully in his sleep, surrounded by his family. His death was a tragic loss for the community and for those people who loved him. But his legacy lived on through the work he'd done on his radio show and the lives he touched by talking to them every single day on the Jim Colbert Show.
They had no questions about how he got AIDS?
No, there's no... that's his business.
I wonder if you typed in the exact same prompt with a different name.
No, you can do that.
Would it give you a different story? Or
no, I'll probably get the similar one. Here's what you can do, though.
It plugs in if it shows your job history, if you have any, I don't know, social media profile.
Oh, you guys have probably gotten targeted with this, that video cassette, or it's probably DVD by this point, where they'll put your kid's face like on a dumb little dinosaur and then dub his name in. So it's like, happy birthday, Adam.
Oh, yeah. My mom got me the books. My mom got me the books when I was a little kid, and they were hand typed by some motherfucker.
Yeah.
They literally, some third world country, there's a guy typing, because my parents called me Dan Lee.
Yeah.
In these books, it says Dan Lee, and it was hand typed. I still have them.
It also, like, Daniel had a bunch of obituaries written and stuff, and that I could see a lot of people using interesting because I've known a lot of people that have a hard time writing obituaries, and then they're like, "Oh, what do I put in there?" And it'll write you a good one.
Wow.
And then it kind of like just takes your life. And
here's a good one I wrote.
And maybe you would have to put some more specific details that is not on the internet or anything, but for the most part, you bang you out an obituary in a minute, and then you got it.
Like this one, like I was really high yesterday, and this is a good one. Ross McCoy is a comedian in Orlando, Florida. See, I'm giving an establishing statement. His catchphrase is "Get the fuck out." Write a story about him eating the world's largest sandwich and saying his catchphrase. Now, I know you're like kind of carb free, you're looking great, but I don't know why it went biggest sandwich.
No, it's Friday.
This is pretty funny. It says Ross McCoy, the Orlando-based comedian, was known for his hilarious catchphrase "Get the fuck out." But today, he was about to take on a new challenge: eating the world's largest sandwich. The sandwich, towering over 8 feet tall, was made of every type of meat imaginable, including turkey, ham, roast beef, and even alligator. It was also stacked with cheese, lettuce, tomato, and various condiments, all nestled between 2 giant slices of bread. As Ross approached the sandwich, his fans and friends gathered around him to cheer him on. He looked up at the towering sandwich and let out a chuckle. "Get the fuck out," he said. "This is huge." With a determined look on his face, Ross dug in. He tackled the sandwich with gusto, taking huge bites and savoring the flavors. His fans and friends laughed and cheered as he made his way through the massive sandwich. As he reached the halfway point, Ross began to slow down. The sandwich was starting to take its toll on him. His stomach was starting to protest, but he was determined to finish. "Come on, Ross," his fans chanted. "You got this." With a final burst of energy, Ross finished the last bite of the sandwich. He let out a triumphant "Get the fuck out" as he held up his arms in victory. His fans erupted in applause and cheers. Ross had done it. He had eaten the world's largest sandwich, and he had done it with the signature catchphrase that he loved so much. It was the moment that would go down in his history and in the world's history and in comedy history. After that, Ross was invited to many TV shows and became a famous comedian around the country. Known for his ability to eat massive sandwiches and make people laugh with his catchphrase, he became a legend, a true sandwich-eating champion. That's all from ChatGPT.
This told me that every writer that works as, and Daniel knows, like
I love writing. This is kind of sad.
When Andrea,
I write a lot.
When Andrea was working for the news,
yeah, she said she's pissed.
Is she in there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she was writing stories
about Casey Anthony. My wife wrote Casey Anthony's story.
Did she watch the docuseries?
No, she won't do it.
I won't
She's
either.
out.
But
it ruined her, man. Wes killed her.
And there's a bunch of people that have like writing gigs where they write some sort of sponsored posts that circle around the internet. Like, this is a huge job for people that do it on the side as a side gig. This will take all that. Because a computer now can do this.
I have a lot of comedian friends that write stories for side gigs. You know a couple people that
it's
are
all
really
clickbait bullshit.
Yeah, really competent writers will go out there and that's how they make their money at side gigs.
And this is what they actually want. They want just generic pablum-ass
It's just
bullshit.
got to fill space. It's just got to be up there. It doesn't have to do anything.
Nope.
As
a matter of fact, the more inoffensive it is, the fucking better.
Correct.
Like, you don't want any kind of spike to it.
So this led me to, in 5 years from now, when this obviously gets real good and more
Am I teaching it by doing this? It's gathering everything I say. I'm making it better by using this.
But it's also...
I taught it all about sandwiches.
Well,
I taught it all about AIDS.
In that story, it clearly researched me and sandwiches about equally.
It knows. You didn't teach her shit about sandwiches. It already knows a billion pieces of information about sandwiches.
The one thing in there that made me laugh is it said all kinds of meat, including ham, turkey, and then it's
roast beef and alligator.
Yeah. And I was like...
It must have been like he's from Florida and threw a little sprinkle of Florida in there.
I think you're right, yeah.
Well, it just knows everything about sandwiches that more than any human.
The alligator bit, though.
It's going to get crazy when it starts putting like human flesh.
We have people in the chat room that probably know more than us. Matt says, the stuff you're telling it doesn't get knowledged forward. I thought it told you in the beginning that it's taking what you say and
it says only in that chat history.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So there's no it already it has unlimited information.
No, they're not
That's
using
what I think too.
They're not using this giant search engine to gather and manipulate data. No.
Well, it's got everything.
You're giving the robots power, Dan.
They said they won't.
They said they won't.
But it's got the internet. In your social media, everything.
It's got the internet.
You know what I saw? I saw like
I saw an alien.
I saw this prank thing on TikTok. You know, the online prank videos or whatever.
Is it one where the bus stop movie ad comes to life and gets them?
No.
I like that one.
Yeah. This prank was they went into a Salvation Army or something like that.
Hey, we did that.
And then
trendsetters.
And then they talked to the lady behind the desk, and they just got her name. And then they went out to their van. They found her address through her name, through her social media.
Don't like that.
Found her
kidnapped her.
No.
Okay, Matt
reprogrammed
this
her.
going?
Matt is just shredding us. He says we don't know a fucking thing we're talking about with ChatGPT. Well, call in and correct us, man.
No. Well, we're just talking about. We know as much as anybody else.
Well, he says he knows a lot.
Call in then.
Yeah, call in and tell us.
We're just showing you what it can do, and I'm sure it could do way more. It's something I've never seen this before.
No, me neither.
Now you have
Me
AI
neither.
writing stuff that you're like, well, I think a human, like it sounds like a human wrote that. There's not that many mistakes, So there's a difference between, like, with the scam, you get a scam message on Facebook is broken English, and you can tell, like,
Right.
there's no really tell that a computer wrote that.
Other than it's how generic it is. Like, I was throwing at crazy shit. Like, I have a clown friend that I think is smoking crack cocaine. What's the best way to get him enrolled in the local police academy? That's one of my questions.
Okay.
Then I lost my gun and it doesn't have an Apple AirTag on it. Any ideas? That was a question I asked it.
Good. Confuse the robots. Dan.
Yeah, I was telling it a lot of crazy stuff. I had it write some fan fiction about Sam where she got married. Oh, here's one. Write fiction about Enos Crafton, a failed University of Miami tight end who now works in a darkly lit copy room with his friend Javier. Want to hear that one? Or just an excerpt?
It gets into hearing like that it's all nonsense, and
I have a
funny.
eulogy for me. I have a poem about Mediocre Time.
I should be more impressed by the creative nonsense it comes up with, but for whatever reason that.
How about a joke?
Zero
How about a
to
joke?
me.
It writes jokes.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this? Write a joke about a mediocre time with Tom and Dan. Why did Tom and Dan start a podcast called A Mediocre Time? Because they wanted to be average but still get paid for it.
Hey, listen.
It's not bad. I've heard worse.
I hear worse stuff at open mic every fucking week. Every fucking
That's not
week.
bad. I don't think that's that bad.
I'll put this fucker up a shit sandwich.
You should pick up and just start typing. When you have a guy bombing, you should go up and hand him the laptop.
Yeah, do a ChatGPT.
It's pretty funny.
I bet this will be on the internet soon. Someone will write a set with ChatGPT
100%.
and do it.
I'm
and then
going to go home and do it.
You know, if you want to leave now so you can beat everybody, go ahead.
Ross, what if it
I'll
kills?
call you later.
If it kills,
He won't say a fucking word.
Will you give it up to robots? Will you give your life to robots?
Whatever
No, you keep it to yourself.
Whatever get her done catchphrase it comes up with, I will make $1 billion off of that and Walmart
What if it comes up
sales.
with some catchphrase? It's like the greatest
Because
thing ever.
what if computers start writing funnier stuff than humans can come up with? What happens?
I got terrible news for you. You're in 5 years scenario. It's going to be, this thing is text right now. It's going to be voice, and you're going to be out of a fucking job.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be, do a podcast where two guys talk about their dicks and killing themselves. Boom, A Mediocre Time. Fucking
man,
robot.
that is what we
you think
talk
that
about,
will
isn't
happen?
it?
Yeah. And do you think it will matter to people? Because I started thinking about this, because you start thinking in the future, okay, where is this going to go? You start reading an article, sports, whatever it is, and you find out a computer wrote it. What will you think? Will that make a difference? Will it be the equivalent to a fake?
You're looking at bylines right now? Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, but think about like the deep fakes. That matters, right? It's not the real person. You know, so you're like, well, so does the information, even in creativity, like, or even some information that's entertainment, that's not factual, like, if that is written by a computer, does it diminish it? Does it matter at all?
It can't get human voice correct or conversational. Like what we're doing right now, we're stepping on each other, we're yelling, we're like, there's inflection. Like, it's so fractured. What we're doing is that I don't believe a computer could ever duplicate what we're doing right now. Only because it's so fractured. Yeah, you could say yes. I'll never say never, but right now, this is so organic and fractured. A computer wants to be precise, and it just can't do this.
Right.
Not if it knows that's what
it's going to have to learn how to make mistakes.
Yes. Well, it's going to learn that humans like mistakes, and that it'll...
Well, it's how we know it's true,
Humans
right?
like
mistakes are how we root it, and how we hear the mistake, and then we're like, well, we can relate to it.
When you said the computer's going to have to learn how to make mistakes, I had a vision of like Superman 2 when the computer takes over that lady, but it was doing it to Tom.
Superman 2, underrated movie.
Fucking Richard probably kills.
Yeah, that's an underrated movie.
Will there be a time in the future where some people will be like, computer did that, like I imagine us.
People are already doing it.
And then the younger generation will be like, my old man doesn't like anything that a computer wrote. He's dumb old man. He won't.
They're already doing it.
Like, I don't want a human.
I'm already already doing it. You're already doing it. We'll get emails. Occasionally I'll get an email, and you'll read the email, and you'll realize that it was just generated by a computer, and it's all gibberish nonsense.
It's spam,
but they're trying to give you something, right? It's just a lesser version of what this thing does, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been happening to us already. I think we already know what it is. And kids, I think since they're in it, they're going to definitely know how to identify things. We're just older, and we can't.
I think the
'cause it's
difference...
changing faster than us.
The difference between those gibberish emails that are trying to beat the spam filter and deep fakes, those are to deceive. What you're talking about, Tom, is like if like the equivalent of a robot writing a Wikipedia article for you instead, like getting the actual information, and it might actually be better because it's going to
more factual.
It's going to seek out like the most truthful sources, ideally ahead, and then
it's not biased
and discard any information that doesn't make sense without a bias. You know,
Yeah.
I need this for you. Heard about this one? Yeah. I don't have to do all this research.
But will people want like a human behind it, or will they not care?
They'll want their confirmation
people
bias.
Will care.
Yeah, well, that's scary. Scary is a weird term to use, but to me, it means that we're watching a evolution.
Yeah,
right?
the robots take over. Yeah,
when our AI program can write just as good as a human being can, and we can't determine the difference.
Hold on, you're being boring. Write a rap about pooping. Listen up. I got a story to tell about a bodily function that we all know well. It's not glamorous and it's not fun, but it's something we all got to get done. Pooping and dumping, it's part of life. Got to get rid of that waste and strife. It's a natural process that we can't avoid. Got to keep that digestion system deployed. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's tough. Sometimes you got to give it a little push. But when it comes out, you'll feel brand new and you'll be ready to tackle whatever you got to do.
Well, this chatbot is definitely white.
Yeah, it's a white chatbot. Yeah. This is definitely my grandpa. Well, this is my dad. It's my dad at the church doing a church rap.
Think about some late night show or some TV show that's doing a bit about pooping, and they tell one of the writers like, "Hey, write a rap about pooping because we're gonna have a poop
pubes.
costume."
Hold on, write a rap about pubes. That's even better.
And then that writer would take the afternoon
bits
get
and
paper.
Does it know slang?
If you ask him to put it in there, right?
Yeah, you got.
So you
got to kind of guide it. Write a resignation letter for Tom Van because he had sexual indiscretions with a man in the studio bathroom. Dear A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan, I'm writing to inform you that I, Thomas Van...
Tom being nude, Tom being gay.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of horny. I'm writing to inform you that I, Thomas Van, am resigning from my position as owner of A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan effective immediately. I regret to inform you that my recent actions have resulted in a violation of the company's code of conduct, and I've caused harm to the company's reputation. I engaged in a sexual indiscretion with a man in the studio bathroom, which is unacceptable behavior.
It's done 100 of these already.
I know.
It's fine.
Fucking nailing it.
For someone like me that doesn't want to write anything,
now,
put this in there.
Here's the part that Ross is going to love. At the very end, right? At the very, very end, he goes like, dot, 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 and he gives you this little addendum, and it says, in this letter, Thomas Van is acknowledging the gravity of his actions and taking responsibility for the harm caused. He is also expressing remorse and making an effort to atone for his actions. It's important for the company to have a zero-tolerance policy for this type of behavior and for employees to acknowledge that their actions are wrong and they will not repeat them in the future. It goes through and walks you through what the fuck it just wrote, so you know how to feel. That's nuts.
There's an apology in the news today that this thing might have fucking read.
I'm sure a lot of people have been using this before it got to the public. And
you might want to bookmark. I bookmarked it, so I was just like, hey, I got it. I got to log in. I'm good to go. Good to go.
And it's funny, like it's spreading because some of my friends from Miami started fucking around with it, and that told me that it's virally spreading and that this, is becoming a thing, and it's only going to get.
You should use it to write romantic texts to your wife.
Now you can, but you can't go really sexual. I tried to get it to write a story. I was trying to nail it for all of you guys. I was trying to give you like little gifts. I tried to get it to write a story for Tom where about Chungus Pukamungus puking up the bathroom because he ate too much Sonic. But it said, I will not make fun of people for their size. It was like, I'm not programmed to make fun of people's weight. And then it chastised me. It was like, in fact,
it said do better.
Yeah, it was like, you should not do that because everybody's size is different and everybody in some way, shape, or form might be that size because of something you don't know about. It was like giving me a fucking lecture. I'm
that's
like,
not my
ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's not my ChatGPT. I'm gonna get
I put a red hat on my ChatGPT. I'm like, come on, let's go.
But again, super white.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a break.
Yes, sir.
When we come back, I want to hear what's been going on with Ross.
Yes,
how many confrontations he's had.
Oh, it's been a lot.
And we've got something in the news that happened to a person that and you work with that I'm interesting. Remember you told me the guy. The
Oh,
YouTube
yeah.
guy.
It's not going well.
I say work
I think
with
Ross did that. This is from a listener span, and I'm going to have to look up their name during the break. Yeah, it is Tim's.
Tim, yeah.
Do you know the name
Shout out Tim.
Do you know the name of Tim's
I'll
band?
have to look up the email again.
Yeah, I'm blanking on Tim's, but the name of the song is Whoa, and it's really, really good, so check this out. We'll be back with more A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan, 1-844-TOMNDAN. If you'd like to call, show@tomandan.com for last-minute emails. Bye-bye. Got a big old smile on my face yesterday when we were driving out to Drive Shack. And I looked to my right as we're going our way. The Tesla is driving us around, and we see two giant American Air and Heat trucks at somebody's house.
Yeah.
And they were getting a brand new, awesome air conditioning, and it always makes me happy to see that because, man, we live in Florida, and AC is paramount. You got to have it, and it's got to be running right, and you got to do preventative maintenance to keep it going.
We got an awesome email from a BDM that got a complete new system talking about how professional American Air and Heat work.
They're the best.
And I did this as well. If, obviously between getting a unit, it usually takes, in my case, it took a couple days because they had to redo all my duct work.
Yeah, you had a lot to do, but it didn't take that much time.
And they'll bring in a portable AC for your family to use. And because for the transition. Although right now the weather is beautiful all the time.
This is the time to do it.
Yeah. Instead of the middle of the summer when your AC does break down, it saved me a ton of money. And like I said, I redid the duct work in my house, so I have a return in each room. It works way more efficiently.
I was underpowered. I have 4 stories. It's not a huge house, but it goes up. So I had complications. I also have to have a pump to pump out the moisture from my air conditioning, and it can't just go anywhere. I'm in the center unit, so it's got to go down this pipe all the way out to the side. They handled it perfectly.
The electric static filter that we have, the UV light that kills all the germs, and the pollen.
You can adjust it, so if you have smells in your house that you don't like, you just go in there and dial it in, they'll go away.
Yeah, and so talk to them. Also get that preventative maintenance, and when you use them, just mention Tom and Dan. Mention you're a BDM. You get 10% off everything. A complete new system.
That could be a ton of money.
Yeah. So talk to them. It's AmericanAirandHeat.com.
Hey, welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. What are we doing now, buddy?
Let's talk to Ross.
All right. Are we doing a confrontation? Should I do the Ross's confrontation song? Because it comes in hard.
It's a little bit of both this week.
All right. Well, let's do it. I like the song, though.
This confrontation in the news.
Okay. Well, we'll do a little news. Hold on. I think I can do both. No, you know what? I don't even want to mess that up. Here, let's just do this. This one's good. This is the loud. I love this song. You always look concerned. It puts Tom on edge. He's kind of like, his eyes go up. And he's like, ugh.
It runs you through a lot of stressful situations.
It does.
Yeah.
It's a triggering song. Everybody's like this. You know what it needs? It needs the hello. It needs that dumb thing I do on the end of it to lighten it.
In a perfect world, we'll get like a main skin cover of it one day.
All right, there you go. There you go.
Injured on the go, just Como.
Okay.
I just get awkward because I hate confrontations, so I'm getting ready for a very awkward experience.
You're anti-confrontation.
I just get awkward. The Tom.
You're Tomfrontation.
Before we do confrontation or news or whatever we do today, I do want to mention if you have listened to my podcast, The Orlando Talk Show with me, Ross McCoy, if you listen to Soma Cow back in the day, if you're a fucking old school chronic and you were on muchedumbre.com back when the fucking old yellow board got taken down by the goddamn Evil Clear channel, you know Mickey, you know my friend Mickey, he produces my show, couldn't do it without him, and he needs a little help from you guys right now. His son needs a heart transplant.
Oh man,
needs a heart transplant real bad. He just got fitted with I forget the acronym, but it's basically a robot heart. He's got like a half a robot heart.
That's not a permanent thing.
No, ideally not, and that's just to get him through until the heart transplant, kind of keep him a little bit mobile in the meantime. But what that means is that Mickey and his son need a lot of money. Man, that shit is expensive. If you would please go to bit.ly. You familiar with that website, Tom? It's a shortening website. bit.ly/Logan X23 Heart. That link will take you right to my friend Mickey's son's Logan's fundraiser. And if you have a few dollars, please throw them to Mickey and Logan.
There you go.
Hold on, what is it?
I put it in the chat as well.
You don't remember Bitly?
Bitly/Logan X23 Heart.
Okay.
Yeah, Bitly's been around for, I want to say, like a decade now.
It's like a donation
You
site?
guys
No.
really think that Tom knows what
No,
that is?
Bitly
No,
is
that's
just
why I asked him, Sam.
Like if there's a
I know GoFundMe.
No, if there's a long address, a web address.
Right. It's a GoFundMe site, and it has a 1 million letter
Right.
long. So
Yeah.
you go to this website, Bitly, and you type in that address, and you give it like a custom one, like Bitly/Logan X23 Heart.
Logan X23
and it
Heart's
shortens
easy
it
to
to that
remember.
for you.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that is. Shoot some dollars to that.
Yeah.
If you got an extra $5,
You got to help them out.
anytime things like that happen,
I did it, so beat me. Go look at what I gave and give. There you go.
All right.
Tom, you remember just a few short weeks ago, your best friend Andrew Callaghan came to town and called you up personally and was like, "Hey, Tom, I'm coming to town. Business first. I need a host for my show,
Yeah.
but then me and you are going to chill and hang out and party all
I think
night."
we're saying his name
Oh,
wrong, too. It's Andrew Callaghan. Or Callaghan.
You know what? That's the worst
What?
part about this guy. As far
Andrew
at this
Callaghan.
point, fuck that guy.
Yeah, his
for that.
name, we've been saying it so wrong. It's Andrew If you look at it, look at the spelling.
Hold on.
It's Andrew Callaghan.
Yeah.
But
Callaghan.
as a guy who's from up north, we in Pennsylvania that we pronounce that word Callahan.
Okay,
That's just how we say
Callahan.
that.
I grew up with a kid with that last name, and we always called it Callahan.
No, I've seen other people pronounce it a different way. I think we're getting it
Weird.
wrong. But I don't care. Fuck
Yeah.
this guy.
And I'm 99% sure I cleared with his producer the day of the show that was how you pronounce his name. But who knows if they were...
Who knows what was even happening? Yeah.
So,
What happened to Andrew?
So you remember last scene at the House of Blues here in Orlando, performing, quote unquote, to 1,800 people ish, hanging out with Mike Busey.
Yeah.
Oddly enough. His
Well, he hangs out with a lot of YouTube influencers.
He knows the guys.
Sure.
Yeah, he's connected.
fucking everybody goes to the fucking party, pig
Sausage.
pig palace.
The Pig Palace, yeah. Everybody goes to the Pig
Don't
Palace.
call us that.
Sausage Castle.
So Andrew Callaghan, his documentary just came out.
This place rules. It's on HBO Max. Don't watch it.
HBO Max, Tim Heidecker produced a documentary on HBO. Just came out.
Eric Wareheim, too. They're in on it.
And then in conjunction with, they've cut all ties with Andrew
Yeah,
Callaghan, by the way.
they were like
What
the first-
happened?
He
Sorry, Grandpa. He
a lot happened.
So once the documentary came out, allegations began to gain traction. They've apparently been around since at least like 2020 or 2021.
I heard 2020.
That people have been alleging stuff of this nature about Andrew Callaghan. And what it kind of all boils down to is like that the words creepy are thrown around a lot. The words are like pressure are thrown around a lot. And
Well, his game, the short of the long, was he run this game where he would kind of go and then he would get with girls and be talking to them, and then he'd be like, "Well, I don't have a place to stay tonight."
he would seem to come up with an excuse.
Yeah.
Either his crew cut him loose, or he's in town and didn't get a hotel, or
He'd always have a pivot point of something going wrong where he might need this girl to give him a ride or sleep over or something, right?
And we're being general, but there are specific instances
There
of this.
are.
We're
You
just
can-
giving the generality.
you can
Yeah, so
Google
he
it.
would seem to come up with a pretext. A lot of times the girls would let him know in advance, okay, you can sleep over, but nothing of any sexual nature, zero of any sexual nature. And then he would proceed to creep and harass, and in some instances grope. And in at least one case, a lady reported that he just kept pressuring her until she felt so uncomfortable that she said yes to sex just to get it out of the way, and he would leave her the fuck alone.
And then she had to drive him home, I think, or something. It was like gross. It's
the one where it was in the
Well, she
car.
didn't have to. All this. I understand. It's if you act like this, what are you doing? I'm just saying, like Do you do it by gunpoint? You can say no to people like this.
Yeah, but that's usually...
And that's the point,
Sometimes
Tom.
no doesn't work either.
Well, if you then it's rape or something. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
that's kind of why he's in a lot of hot water, because then it ends up looking like you use
And
your
also
power of... you're a pretty powerful person, right?
Yeah. Well,
and when
listen,
he's in
I
a position
understand.
of power and he's intimidating people that are, not that.
Completely wrong. Completely wrong.
And also, in some of these instances, in pretty much every one of these cases where a woman has come forward, they have said no.
Right.
He ignored that and proceeded. In some instances, there are reports that it is a drunken minor that he's doing this to. And
I didn't think
a bunch of gross.
I thought the mining industry kind of dried up after a while. It was like, I thought that was over. West Virginia.
A bunch of gross behavior.
YouTube popularity aside, some of these women are reporting that they felt physically. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
He's a big guy, and to a smaller, possibly inebriated woman, that's physically intimidating to have a guy pawing you when you've said no. You said no, and he's putting his hands on you.
Yeah.
What you say, if you agree to whatever to make it stop, at that point, you're not consenting. You're just trying to make something be over.
It gets real sticky and weird.
It always surprises me, like these type of people that have a past history of behavior like this, right? Like, and we've all seen this in our own lives.
A pattern of even the same. He's executing the same sort of, for lack of a better term, con. I don't have a place to stay. It's like, when I see all of that, then that kind of, for me as a man, I look at that and I go, well, this was always your plan. There are instances where I think it's possible to be so awkward that people misinterpret what you're doing. But again, when I look at this and I see the pattern and how you're doing it constantly, it almost looks like you're running the bit, you're running the con.
And fuck his apology, too.
We'll get to that.
I figured Ross God, I haven't seen a worse apology since Jesse Lacey from Brand New.
You know what's interesting? The psychology behind hooking up is always, like, remember the pickup artist and that whole thing where it's like, here's how...
Yeah. He had that crazy furry hat.
Fucking cringe.
Peacocking.
But think about it's like, here's how to trick this person into liking you.
That's a dangerous place.
But it's interesting when you in that example and that whole thing, when it was like, when you're at a bar or whatever, here's how to get the other person interested in what you're saying, or like to hook up with her or whatever. It's teaching you psychological
manipulation is what it is.
Teach you manipulation and psychological tricks, almost like a magic
emotional
trick.
Abuse
of doing, but everybody was fine with that.
Times have changed. Well, not everybody.
No. But everybody's like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I never thought of doing that. And then I feel like, but the idea of
there's still
manipulation
some dude bros that still think that that's the way to do it.
Negging and all that horse shit.
Yeah, well, there's certain, in sales and stuff, there's certain sales techniques about just keeping your arms crossed or where to put your, things like that to manipulate human psychology. But it's interesting once you get to the point where it's like, oh, this is my game. I go and I don't have a place to stay and I go home. And then, so you rationalize it, I'm sure. Yeah. People like this are like, hey, this is my game.
Yeah.
This is what I do to hook up.
Yeah, well, you're a fucking terrible person.
Yeah.
Well,
it goes into that.
Well, like the apologies, though, and if we're going to talk about that for a second, I don't want to get into it yet. I know you probably have it queued up.
I'm looking for.
Have we ever seen an apology where people were okay with it? I don't think I've ever seen an apology from anyone doing anything in the media where we all heard it and somebody didn't have something to say like "fuck this guy" and "fuck your apology." So, I think it'd be better just if you do something horrible, just to go away and don't apologize, because I don't think anybody cares about your fucking apology anyway. So just go away. That's your best apology, I feel like, is just to distance yourself from the world.
I would make a prediction he won't go away because he doesn't work for a giant corporation, so he's not getting fired, and nobody... he'll probably lose an audience. He'll probably gain some, but...
Unless he goes to jail for something, he won't go away.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody else has.
Exactly.
Louis C.K. hasn't gone away.
Because, now...
he's about to start his tour. Well, Delia's in Daytona Beach, they're still doing tours. It's lesser tier.
But you can work for yourself now. So this does not there's an element of working for yourself. You cannot get canceled.
I'm not saying that I'm just wondering if there is. How do you? That would be my question. Maybe I should type it into ChatGPT. How do you apologize for that? Because I don't think I've ever seen anybody where you and I've watched a ton of apologies, Sam, and every single one of them we're both like, fuck that. You're like, I don't think anybody's ever...
Most of them don't even seem genuine. And especially
how do you make it genuine, though?
If it was like a one-off case... maybe, but like
Will
when you're a
Smith,
repeat
horrible
offender,
apology.
it's like
Well, you don't apologize. You do
Yeah,
what Deshaun Watson did.
I
and
think
just
you don't apologize.
You don't say
just
anything.
deny.
Yeah,
I don't think you can because it's going to be flawed.
200 million.
Yeah, even if
What
you're
does it matter?
genuine, like if I genuinely apologize for something here, the possibility of there being at least one listener who says, "Well, fuck you, Dan," that's not like I just say, just don't even apologize then, because nobody's even going to believe you. People are already hating you for what you did. You can't apologize. It's impossible.
A guy just did it, and I'm only aware of this like tangentially. Is Justin Roiland from Rick and Morty?
They were recasting all of that, right?
I don't know
how they're going to do that.
There was a what do you call it? Domestic violence
from 2020. Everything happened in 2020, guys.
So he's fired. They're Rick and Morty are gonna be a different voice from now on.
They got to make it crazy. They got to do like all black people and just make it crazy, right? They can't do the same voice. They can't have somebody. It's like the Aflac duck. You can't do that. You got to get
if you want to get in on the text chain where me and some people are talking about like what they could do, I'll fucking clue you into it. But yeah, it's but also at the same time, the other guy associated with this show, Dan Harmon, also had a thing come up and he apologized.
Did it work?
He came and said, "This was all my fault. I'm very sorry. I apologize." And he's still on the fucking show, Dan.
It's less. You got to say less, right? Don't you have to just be like, "Hey, man, I'm really sorry. I fucked this up," and then you got to go away.
I think his thing was.
I don't know how you do it.
His thing was also not like hitting a woman. It was like something lesser than that. But he just straight up apologized. He's like, "Sorry, this is on me." And my bad.
Sometimes I think about that. Not that I would ever do something like that, but sometimes I think about these guys apologizing. And when I hear that, they released his apology, I'm automatically thinking, what's going to be bad?
It was a sketch featuring Rick and Morty creator as a baby molester.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah,
You shouldn't apologize. No, you shouldn't apologize for making a crazy thing. It's art.
Same thing happened with Tiffany Haddish, too.
He looked back and looked at it and he said, "You know what? It was just some dumb bullshit." And listen, we've made some dumb jokes that we probably don't stand by.
Right.
Looking back at them.
Bucket loads.
Yeah, so
I wouldn't apologize for it. I would just be like, "Yep, I did that."
And that's kind of what he did. He's like, at that time, I thought that was funny. Right now, looking back, I see.
That's a good apology.
Yeah,
sure.
Because it's more genuine for me to say, "Yep, I did that," and I can't apologize for it because that's what I was doing at the time.
Yeah. And because at the time, no one said anything because it was that time.
Correct.
So now you're judging it.
So to apologize is what's actually making.
What am I apologizing for?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the apology.
I didn't do it now. I did it back then.
Well, no, that's the thing. Is
you guys want to hear a bad apology?
Oh yeah, please enlighten me.
Oh God.
Yeah. Okay, so and like I've been following this for like a while now because I got on the Channel 5 Reddit. Remember Sam read them, tearing me the fuck apart. So I've been, and all this shit started breaking there like weeks before it, and then NPR picked it up. And right now,
I said it to Ross. He's like, "I've been on this for decades." He's like, "I've been sitting on this."
Rolling Stone wrote an article too, and maybe several because I'm reading from one right now. This is his apology. Callaghan apologized for his recent silence, saying he was in a state of denial and shock about the people I've affected. He wanted to express my complete sympathy, respect, and support for anyone I've done wrong by, and I really want to do better and be fully accountable for everything I've done. He also said, "I've always taken no for an answer as far as consent. I've never overstepped that line, but I think I want to have a more nuanced and important conversation about power dynamics, pressure, and coercion." The fucking chatbot wrote that. And then it goes on to like quote a number of women saying, "I told him to stop. I told him no multiple times. I told him to get off of me. He put his hand down my pants and I was fighting against him."
Yeah, the pants thing, that's an advanced move.
And I can't find the actual text of his, but he also at one point accuses one of these chicks of trying to blackmail him.
Extortion, yeah, I saw that.
And this is particularly douchey because a friend of hers released a screenshot of what she actually asked for, and it's just this like it's
an argument, and she's basically saying, "Well, are you gonna pay me back for all the therapy I fucking had?"
It's a paragraph where she details what he did that impacted her and how it made her feel, and then at the end she goes, "By the way, I've been through hours and hours and hours of therapy about this. Here's my Venmo if you want to send me some money
it was a
to help with that."
That was not an extortion attempt.
No,
that was a dig.
absolutely
that was like a,
not.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
Correct. And he used
I've done that to people too. We're like, "Hey, you want to pay me back for that shit? Yeah, fucking here's my Cash App, you dick."
And he used it in his apology to try to throw a little shade on these chicks that are fucking accusing him.
Then he blamed it on his. I think he blamed it on his guys. saying like, "Oh no, that was my people."
Yeah,
basically.
chatbot did that to him.
Do you think this is my argument to why we should make sex work legal
Oh, yeah.
everywhere?
He thought, quote, persistence was a form of flattery.
Because this is never going to stop.
words.
Well, I mean, maybe
Because-
in the 50s when it's like, man, if I just keep trying, she'll be my best gal.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. I don't know what he was
Like, we need to have all these super horny guys that want to hook up with girls
I'm
go
right
and just
here.
pay for it and quit going about it this route. Especially, there's types of people that are super persistent and get themselves in situations like this and then abuse their power, and because all they could think about is sex and they wanting to hook up. Like,
All day long, I dream about sex.
Yeah, have them go to a goddamn place and just pay
The sex-
for it, and then have a
you
just
go
have
to
a
the sex
business.
place.
Like,
But
and then it'll
if it's
eliminate a lot
not
of
it's not the right kind of sex or what they want, because I'm telling you, man,
The hunt?
I stood next to this motherfucker on a stage at the House of Blues. There was 1,800 people in there. There's at least 100 chicks in there that would have fucked him, no fucking problem. Like, take him
Yeah.
home, fuck his
Yes.
fucking brains out just for being the guy on YouTube. No fucking problem.
Let's
But-
not pretend
and
like
that-
people that are married
and that's been going on for
have sex don't also rape people.
So
that happens.
He
Yeah,
could have
yeah, yeah.
very
You're right.
easily.
Then they-
he very
you
easily
messed
could
it
have
up.
gotten consensual sex that night,
Right.
and this is a position he's been in for a long time, and there's still these claims out there. So
Yeah, it becomes the Watson thing where it's like
Correct.
you could have paid for a masseuse to jack you
But
off.
that's not what you
have
wanted.
unlimited
That's not
money.
what you wanted.
You wanted to intimidate
Correct.
the person who didn't want to do
Right.
it,
And then
then
that's
get
the
off on.
power
and-
dynamic.
yeah,
That's
then
the weirdo thing.
So,
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, you are a sexual predator.
And I can see that when I saw, like, for me, look, man,
Hard
I'm
to tell.
I'm a horny motherfucker, but when I saw that he was working that gimmick of like, oh, I don't have a place to stay, I'm like, oh my god, what are you doing,
Yeah.
dude? You
I
can't
kind of
be
want
doing
this
that.
lady's Venmo so I can send her some money.
I think a lot of people are. I think somebody else posted it on Reddit.
All right,
That's
what
like-
else you got?
Yeah,
Ross?
what else you got?
how about that guy?
Any other
I don't know.
predators you want to set Ross up with? My God.
Oh, what the hell? I don't know. I mean,
It is funny that what are the odds? Because we were supposed to do it. What are the fucking odds?
well,
You guys killed Bob Saget. And
I mean,
I know.
We tried to kill you by sending you to the pedophile guy. No, I'm kidding. He's not that. He's not that.
I mean,
we don't know.
Hey, we don't know.
there.
Nobody
Allegedly.
knows. I don't know who I'm talking about. Who am I talking about?
There are
Jared
a
from
lot
Center.
of people out there that have some sort of past things that they wouldn't want out there. Or who the hell knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, think about.
You ever think about, like, if you found out
how the
everything
fuck
about
are you supposed to
everybody
know?
that swirls around you? Like, if they just all of a sudden it popped into your brain? Or is that just me?
Yeah.
Like, if you were able to just, like, and you knew everybody's dark secrets, how would you
I
even
wouldn't talk to
interact?
anybody.
Yeah, you wouldn't, right? You wouldn't interact with anybody.
Well, that's
You guys are fucking animals.
because you start looking. But
we are animals.
But why?
That's the scary
Yeah. It's like
we're not as sophisticated, elegant, and, we're not that really.
But we all have that, and it's where you come, how you let it affect you, and where you
Correct.
come out of it. And this fucking dude.
How you control it. Anyway, yeah.
Let's stick with internet outrage, if you don't mind. You are probably familiar, Tom, with romance novelist Susan Meachin. I'm sure you've read her works. You're familiar.
He used to love a lot. Are you still reading the romance novels?
keep going because I obviously have no idea.
You were a Sidney
You know what?
Sheldon. He was a Sidney
never-
Sheldon guy for a while, I believe.
Dan, you're pretty up on the internet. That's like a trend now, romance novels.
Yeah, it's
and,
back.
I fucking picked one up the other day. I used to read them.
Yeah, I used to read my mom's.
Yeah, my grandma.
Some of them were kind of horny.
Yeah, dude, that's why.
Yeah.
You'd find those like 3 pages you could fucking jerk off to.
Yeah,
and they
I
were
would literally
great.
be reading it. That's
Yeah.
when I fell in love with that was like my entry level into Penthouse Forum.
Oh,
where
yeah.
my mom's romance. She had a couple of them. She wasn't really into them.
Yeah,
But some
yeah.
of her girls would give them to her, right? The sorority, and you'd go in there and read them, and they'd talk about like he's thrust his member into her mound. You know, it was very.
She grew hot and flushed.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. Their wetness, she could feel the wetness in her, neithers.
I picked one up the other day. It's called "You Had Me at Hola," and
Hey.
it's these two.
Wow.
These two Spanish actors get cast in a teleroman novella for Netflix, and it's like it's both their last chances. And then get this, Dan, he says "hola" to her as like an actor, and then he says it to her as the character, and so he gets her both times.
Oh, I like
Fucking
that.
awesome, dude.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
good.
I've never read something that
Period.
that's made me horny or
Dude.
even,
My God, I feel like you're like that kid that says, I ain't never had a real bed before. Like, you've never read something that made you horny?
No.
Dude, back in the 90s before you could, but when it took like to download pornography from like text
You'd have to
porn
read
was
it.
the shit, dude.
Yeah,
oh,
read
yeah.
No,
I didn't know people could say those things. Obviously, the computer's typing out some stuff and it's talking about putting this there and that, and I'm like, all right.
Before technology, there's pictures and there's VHS and it's
And then AOL chat rooms, dude. You could get in a chat room with like a dude pretending to be a lady to you.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
the fucking best.
I probably had a guy in jail talk me off. I was in my
for
little apartment
sure.
over by UCF, and I was like I remember I was talking to this girl from, I think, Australia. Her name was Baloo. I think I've told this story before. I was talking to her, and it was like, we weren't like sex chatting or anything, but I think she wanted that. And then it kind of dawned on me that I think you're like a dude. Like, I think you're a dude in Australia, or maybe you're not even.
Or a
You could
big
be like, you
bear
could
in the
know me. You
jungle.
could be my next door neighbor.
I've never even gotten excited from sexy texts from my wife. So if I get if she
God.
tells me something like, send me Bob's. I need
God,
pictures.
that makes me so sad. That, like, if your wife texted you right now, she was like, "You're so hot. I can't wait till you get home, and I'm just gonna suck your dick so hard, suck every bit of cum out of it." You wouldn't go. I would be like,
No,
"What?"
no. I first I'm like, who is this? That's how, and like, I think it's a trap. I'm like, this,
Daniel, this is Daniel.
yeah, it's like
Fuck you,
ChatGPT.
Daniel.
yeah. I'll think that it's a trap or
And
something.
it was me.
Like,
Joke's
yeah.
on you. It was me, and I'm not gonna suck you off. And y'all, fuck you too.
So what was it?
It was ChatGPT the whole time.
It could be. What if you could hook your text message, dude? What if you could hook your text message up to ChatGPT and it would just answer her with everything that needs to be said?
Oh, shit.
Everything, and then you go back and just read it later.
And what if she's got ChatGPT talking to your ChatGPT and the two robots learn how to fuck each other?
It would be the exact same for me on my end. But the computer,
ChatGTC.
Yeah. She'd get the same response.
You call your dick a USB plug anyway. So, Susan Meach and Tom, September 2020, she's a romance novelist. September 2020, a Facebook post comes out saying her daughter posted on her Facebook, Susan Meach had killed herself because of online bullying. She's a romance artist, she'd been online harassed to the point where she offed herself, right?
August Ames did that, porn star.
And by the way,
hung herself.
this made her fucking sales go through the fucking roof. Like her, like anybody who dies.
I always buy dead people's books. As soon as I know somebody's dead, I rush out and try to buy other books.
So sales go through the roof, and now 2-3 years later, Susan Meachin gets on her Facebook and says, "Hey, you guys, I'm in a better place now. I'm feeling better. I'm here to announce I didn't kill myself, and I'm ready to get back to writing."
All right. Okay.
Well, that's fucking awesome, and it makes me like her more.
You guys like it. Her fans who have been like
mourning over her.
mourning and B like
It's
raising money to stop online bullying and
Well, that's a
shit
good thing.
for
You
like
did a
2
good
or 3
thing.
fucking years in her dead name
That's fine.
are fucking furious.
Well,
Now, who
I don't owe
reported
you
that she-
anything. I'm a romance novelist. I went crazy. I faked my death. You did something good for bullying. We're good.
Now,
I'm
how-
back. I'll write a good novel. Maybe I'll write a novel about 2 Spanish novella stars who faked their death or something. Maybe I'll skewer that into my
hell
book.
yeah, dude.
But
I love this lady. Can we interview this lady?
well, you can't.
And the Bang CEO.
Jack Owalk, if you're out there.
Did someone just say, "Hey, she committed suicide"? I mean, there was no police.
Somebody got on her Facebook, said they were her daughter, and now people think it was probably her.
Yeah.
And made the announcement.
Her
hey,
husband is taking the blame for it, though.
really?
Yeah.
What a good
so it
man. What a
says,
good man. That's a good husband.
On September 10th, Meachin had taken a large dose of Xanax
Yes!
and was not cognitive or responsive, according to her husband, Troy Meachin. He then instructed their 22-year-old daughter to announce her death online. Quote, "I told them that she is dead to the indie world, the internet, because we had to stop her, period." He told the Times.
It was the symbolic death.
Referring to the toll that the online drama
That
and
counts.
the indie romance community had on her mental health. He says he'll, quote, "take 100% of the blame for the incident."
Yeah, that's fine. I think everything they did was fine.
This
They
is a
were
made-up story
They
after
were
the
just
fact, though.
protecting her from the internet, and this is a good husband. He did what he had to do.
This
Give me
is
some
made
of
up
that.
to
But also, I
explain
feel
the
like
facts,
he
though.
was mad at them, and he's like, "See what you did? You killed her."
Right.
That's what it seems like to me. Although,
But he didn't want her to die, so he got his cake and ate it too. He told him she was
She
dead.
says, "I'm sorry for their mourning, but from a legal standpoint, I did nothing wrong."
Yeah, fuck you. I like that. I like this lady. She's getting
Yeah,
big.
well, because-
Yeah.
This is
Also-
so big. Get the fuck out. Like, yeah.
She didn't try to claim insurance or nothing. She didn't report herself dead. She just said
Yeah.
online
Sorry,
she's
you got
fucking
invested.
dead.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you got invested. That's on you.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a romance novelist. It's my life.
although it's all crazy.
Yeah.
It's
It's exhausting.
And,
I'm tired.
The fans, everything's crazy.
Well, they're all, you know those ladies, and they're all Karens, right? First of all, every single woman that is mad about this has a short haircut and wears jean shorts. And they're mad as fuck. And they're persistent motherfuckers.
But also, look, you're mad that you collected money for online
That's what I'm
bullying?
saying. You
Like,
did something good.
Yeah, so it's fine.
That's why all of this is good.
What bad has happened
Now, I
here?
do feel bad that you personally, if you were invested and it caused you grief,
You
if it
felt
made you
sad about it.
I don't like that part.
For 2 years,
Yeah.
you've been sad about this.
I don't like that part, but you didn't really know me. You only knew me through the books. So the amount of love or tenderness
Yeah.
that I can even give that it's minuscule.
But
because
you know, there's people out there that read books or hear you on the radio and think they know you better than your goddamn mom knows you because
they do know us well. Like those,
yeah.
they know us really, really well. Ooh, how would people react?
Listen,
If you guys announce you're dead,
Yeah,
you
let's
disappear
fake our
for 2
death.
years, you come back,
How
and
do we
you're like,
fake our death and still do the show?
Well,
it's all
Yeah, I do
pre-recorded.
it.
Because we need the money.
You've pre-recorded 2 years worth of shit. It just gets released every week.
I mean, we're getting that way. I mean,
Yeah,
we're so
truly.
fucking far ahead. We're already recording for April.
the weird
I'm
part
joking.
is
I'm
that
joking.
the internet usually sleuths, and so I'm surprised someone on the
That's a
Reddit page
dinner theater.
didn't-
You're an idiot.
didn't
They're back, by the way.
investigate and be like, there's no record of this person dying.
Why would you question that, though?
It's probably-
coming from her daughter.
I
you
wouldn't
internet
know?
know. That's why it was
The
so
internet
good.
questions
You
everything.
got to have it come from a kid, right?
DeMar
Kids are
Hamlin?
almost-
Everybody's saying DeMar Hamlin is a body double on the internet.
Well, that's-
yeah.
I
So
believe
is Britney
that.
Spears, yeah.
I believe that.
So
DeMar
that-
Hamlin died on the field and they replaced him. I know that the NFL had a lot to lose.
Who questions it? The internet questions everything. The internet questions stuff that shouldn't even be questioned.
I'm just going to
surprised.
go on
She's
a
also
limb.
like a very, like, do a
Yeah,
lot
not
of
that
people know
popular,
her? I don't know.
I'm going to say
Indie
your
romance
average romance novel reader is not that
I know
bright.
Sidney Sheldon. What was the other big one? Sidney Sheldon.
Danielle Steele.
That was the one I couldn't get. I should have gotten it with a name. Danielle Steele.
But, like, even
my
if-
mom had a Danielle's couple
Every single
and
one
the-
of them.
And the way that lady, the font she used to write her name on the top of the book was fucking choice.
And
dude.
those paperback foil covers
and they were
always
raised.
amazing. Yeah.
They would do the bubble raising with a
Yeah.
man's pecs. They would make his titties poof up, and they'd like raise. Oh god,
That's more of a like Harlequin romance
Yeah,
thing. Danielle
yeah.
Steele would have like a house with like the
garden.
with like a lightning bolt going off in the
Yeah.
background, and you're seeing like a crime happening.
Oh,
in
I have
one
to
of the
make fun of
windows.
my wife. She gets pretty close. You know what she reads? She reads those goddamn. Who's the guy?
Clive Klessler.
No, he's always setting his shit in like Maine, and it's always
Stephen
like
King?
no, it's always like a man has to run and save a woman from a lighthouse in some sort of Maine. God, what is the name of the guy that she loves? It's some Nicholas Sparks. Thank you, Fresh. The chat room got it. My wife loves these. She'll
Sparks
buy
is a
them.
good writer.
She'll buy them though, not even read them. She's like, it's just for my collection, and like put it up there. She loves Nicholas Sparks.
I assume that there are a lot of Sams out there, and what I mean by that is every time I talk about something in the
Sorry.
in the studio,
Yeah.
or like I'm in the office and I'll say something like, "Oh, this person died," or "This happened," Sam will instantly look it up on Google and be. And
Well,
then
I'm a crazy person.
Yeah, she said it. I knew it. I knew she was crazy, just like us. You got
Crazy the whole
documentation.
time.
What is that? 1 hour, 13 minutes. Mark it.
But it's like
Knew it.
But no, my wife will do this too, where I'll throw out some sort of thing and she'll look it up and then start finding facts about it. So I just imagine that this person.
Oh,
will, like,
my wife's in
once
here.
they announce their death, people would be like, "Well, what'd they die of?"
Well, they've told you. That's what I'm saying. The daughter is saying, you guys bullied my... And now she's also putting blame on the
Them.
people that are reading
She
the
should.
fucking post,
Yeah,
right?
should.
but then as the fans, I'm sure one of them be like, "Wait, what if her daughter did it?" And then start researching, like, how did she die? What if this is foul play?
Why
And then
are we-
find out that she's not dead. Like
Why
people
can't-
think everything's foul play.
Why do we have to look at
You're
this
more
from
paranoid
the
than I am.
standpoint?
No, you're paranoid. Everybody.
Oh, now he's yelling at me for being paranoid. I'm paranoid.
I wouldn't think nothing can go on with my life, but so many people research it that at least they'd be like, "Wait a minute, there's no record of their death or their internet saying."
It's probably a pet name.
We're looking at this wrong. Why is this
yeah.
bad? Why? Okay, let's talk about this again. these people were bullying her.
Right.
And she got them back by faking her death.
Well, not-
so fuck them. They got what they deserve.
Not all were bullying her. Some of their fans.
Collateral damage, man. When you drop a bomb, some children are going to die in the nursery room.
But the bullies were happy about it. Your real bullies were like, we did it. We made her kill herself. And then her fans were like, oh, shit.
You think the bullies were like, we bullied her so much she killed herself?
What's the end game otherwise?
No,
I don't think they wanted to kill herself.
Not all criticism is bullying.
I don't think she really do it.
but also
talking good new voice you do.
But killing yourself, I understand there are people that can get pressured into things and stuff. But the act of killing yourself is that person's act. It's not the other people. They said something that could contribute into it, but
you're taking some hard stances.
Well, you have to be responsible for your own actions.
Yeah,
that's not really a hard stance. That's just like, hey, I understand that. Yes, what the hell are you doing, bullying someone? And yes, there are people that are less stable than other people. But
how about this? Let's dial it back from
your own action.
Let's dial it back from suicide. Let's say me and your kid are here alone. And I bully your kid to the point where he cries. Are those tears on him or are they on me?
You're a piece of shit for doing that.
So that's on me, and I see it the exact same way. Somebody who bullies someone to commit suicide, they've taken a person impressionable and pushed them into a frame of mind where they do something that they might not have done without those actions.
I see. This is what I'd say. This is unpopular opinion, but I think the bullies, fuck you, I fake my death, so that's up yours. And the other people, I'm like, well, I'm not dead anyway, so who cares? Yeah. I'm right here.
But also, bullying
win-win.
Bullying has a spectrum, right? There's some stuff that we'd hear that we'd be like, man,
that's a good T-shirt. That's a good T-shirt.
Well, there are two scales, right? There's your scale and the bully scale. What the bully's doing, he may not think is bullying. What he's doing to you, you may think is bullying, but other people may look at it and say,
I can go on the Tom Van Club and then kill myself and look at all.
That's pretty bad in there.
And then this is all bullying, and then is it their fault? Is it their fault for putting pictures of me on promoting Los
if we knew that it made you feel bad, we wouldn't do it.
The Oreo cakes,
that is true. I stopped doing
things. We thought you liked it.
How do they? Sometimes you don't know, right?
Yeah. Does it hurt your feelings?
No, okay. but that's
Keep doing
me.
it.
It's all subjective. Some people can take it.
We're close to him killing himself.
No, nothing can ever get me to kill myself.
That time for Bath Song is close. I see it every time it plays.
No words bother. Nothing anybody
every
does.
Every time I do a parody song, I look at his eyes. Every time I do a Weird Joe Wednesday song, I look at his eyes and I'm like, he's one step closer. It's like the doomsday clock. I'm like, we're 90 seconds to midnight. This motherfucker's going to kill himself.
But regular internet bullshit can affect people differently. Yeah. So it's all a spectrum. So it's what do you do? To me, you got to train people not to look at it rather than train people not to do it
or not give it value.
Some of it's human behavior. They're going to express their opinion. What's bullying? You release something and you're like, this is garbage. You released it on the internet. It can't all be good. You got to learn how to accept negative comments. I don't know.
Or not look at it.
Or not look at it. There's a certain aspect of don't even if you were that person, don't even go on the internet.
That's almost impossible.
But it's true. But some people
impossible.
Some people aren't self-aware to know that they need to manage that.
What's impossible is changing human behavior of all. Telling everybody never write anything negative about anything.
That'll never happen.
Exactly. So what can happen is being responsible for yourself and not looking at it.
I just want to fake my death. I want to fake my death.
If you've ever committed suicide, it was your fault, Tom Van.
No,
that's what you just said.
No,
he was saying if you ever commit suicide while Andrew Callaghan is putting his hand down your pants, it's your fault.
Okay, I got you.
I'm not making that statement, but. Just straight up logic, and you committing suicide is the person's responsibility.
I love when you try to pull yourself out of the hole and you just dig it 2 feet deeper.
Who else did it? This person shot themselves in the head. Whose fault is it?
Let's take a break and let the chat room run wild. How about that?
No. You guys are twisting my words. I'm
not twisting anything.
Can we do just one more news story to kind of flush the room out?
I'm not twisting anything.
This is kind of an older one.
I try to make things light and funny.
This is from Ohio.
Well, suicide stories.
I'm trying. I'm doing my best.
Sexual assault.
I'm doing my best.
This is a nice, light, fun story. This will kind of froth us over.
Wait, so we've had sexual assault, suicide.
that truth taking a takeover.
God damn. If you guys could have heard the segment that we did earlier today. Whoa.
What were we doing
Remember
earlier?
Tom said he's ride or die, he would do anything, and then we started questioning him.
Oh, we were burying bodies. I don't even know what the fuck
What
we're doing.
happened today?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Mink Farm in Ohio.
Is that a person's name or a place?
A like one of these activists breaks into a mink farm, releases 40,000 mink into the wild of Ohio.
How do you have 40,000 in one facility?
You've ever seen a mink farm?
I have not.
One of my neighbors used to work on a mink farm, and he told me about it.
Do they smell?
They smell.
They smell like I had a friend that had, what are those things? Weasels or no? What are those things that people get?
No.
Ferrets.
Yeah, ferrets
are
are the
ferrets
worst.
like
They're the fucking
minks?
worst.
Are they close?
Minks are like ferrets, but they're wild. They're like wild fucking animals. And real nice fur, though. Yeah, one of my neighbors used to work on a mink farm, and he said just fucking millions of cages. And like, those crammed-ass chicken cages? They're like that, but there's like a fucking mammal in this thing.
Are they dying all the time?
Dude, here's how they kill them. They stick an electrode up their ass and electrocute them to death because it doesn't damage the fur at all.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You know what? I know this is going to be another hot take, and this is a strange story as a palate cleanser, but I could do that job. I think I'm your guy, and I love animals. I love animals, but I don't love these animals, and I think that's a fun device.
This guy said 40,000 mink loose. So many mink. The mink were trying to cross a street nearby. So many mink got run over.
Why did the mink cross the road? Anyone? Because there was a man with an electrode that goes in their ass chasing them. Ross got it.
Fuck that. Fuck you, ChatGPT. That's a good joke.
ChatGPT could have done better. Write a mink joke and see if ChatGPT can write a better joke than Daniel.
That was a solid joke, I thought.
There was so many mink killed on this road, they had to call out the snow plow to plow the road of dead mink.
So in an effort to save these mink, they killed them all.
They killed
and a horrible death.
A lot of them. And also, by the way, these mink are a terrible blight on the local ecosystem. Mink, they're predators. They only eat like live prey. Everything, basically, like of the, let's say half of these mink survive, they're just going to go murder everything in the woods in the whole area.
So the chat says, "quote: The minks brought it on themselves." Tom Van.
I knew the chat would do this.
They had a better joke.
They had it coming.
They also want to know. EJ wants to know if Seth is wearing a Ross mask today. Because it's all bad stories.
Oh, no, it's because I've been working out. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. When your testosterone is high, you pick negative stories. That's just the way it happens.
This is a good example of someone's intentions being maybe in the right category, but their actions are horrible.
I don't understand the joke it wrote.
Oh, God.
Let's hear it.
Right.
It said, write a joke about the mink crossing the road. It says, why did the mink cross the road? To get to the other sable.
Because the sable's another mink-like creature.
Oh, it's too smart for us.
Yeah. I don't understand what a goddamn sable is.
Man.
I know Sable. She's in WWE.
It runs up too smart for us to understand.
Yeah, Sable's in WWE. She used to be married to Mark Maron, and somebody shit in her gym bag. Remember that story?
Yeah.
Here's a fun fact. I gave that story to Andrew Callaghan on stage at the House of Blues. He looked at me and said, that's weird.
I don't have a place to stay. Can I stay with you tonight, Russell?
Just trotted that story out just to prove the fact that he's a fucking douche.
I look at this in as the same way as I look at Blackfish and like SeaWorld, right? Because people are like...
Oh, he's about to get racist.
It was the fucking whale's fault.
He gets right when he's about to go racist.
Or someone's like, oh my God, look what's happening in these mink farms. It's horrible, right? And I think the most of every single person you talk to would be like, oh God, that is bad. Like, you're electrocuting these tiny animals and all for mink coats. It's gross, it's weird, it's, but the people's, they're targeting the mink farms. And it's like, that's the wrong target. Target the people buying this shit. Like, the people buying this shit is why there's mink farms and why this even happened. If no one bought this...
Now I got logical. Why did the mink cross the road from the mink farm? To get away from the man at the mink farm.
pretty close to what you said.
It's listening to me.
It's pretty close.
It's fucking listening to me.
It's learning.
Yeah.
Get him in Daniel's shit. ChatGPT
That's not
doesn't
fair.
need money. Anyway.
Oh,
But so it's like you are against.
you know what? ChatGPT just killed itself. You guys bullied it too much.
Well, he's a fucking idiot. His stupid ass.
It's because
It's his fault.
all this
Is it a
did.
boy? I don't know. Is it a man?
Because think about it, this person,
gender.
this activist, made it actually worse for what they are. They're like they're.
Well, it was instant death for all of them, and that was dumb.
Well, not only that, they're going to get more minks, and this farm now you
killed 80 of them.
Yeah, a
80
lot
80,000.
of death, and then now you release, and what about all the animals?
Ecological disaster.
Yeah. Like all the so you actually did something worse.
Think
by
about it,
doing
all
this.
the old men. They're going to have to smash those mink with a baseball bat in their backyard,
There's that,
like my dad would.
Yeah.
Or shoot him with a BB gun.
and so this didn't help anything. It caused a worse problem. It's caused more mink deaths. They're going to get more.
Yep.
You didn't stop people from
Just
buying
like Jay
mink
Leno
cones.
said about Doritos. I tell you what, we'll make more.
It's like
Nobody remembers this when he did
No,
it?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I did
You know.
the Doritos commercial.
That was right about the you got the right one baby time.
Yeah,
There
I was
a lot
trying
of-
to do a You Got the Right One Baby for Tom because he drinks 9 Diet Cokes a day. But that was about Pepsi,
It was
and I'm
Diet
an
Pepsi,
idiot.
yeah.
I'm an idiot.
all right.
Want to take a break?
Let's take a break.
Yeah, the name of the band is the Barstool Preachers. The name of the song is All Turned Blue. We'll be back with more on Mediocre Time after this. 1-844-TOMNDAN show at tomanddan.com. If you got an email.
You gotta listen to yourself. Don't put too much stock in anybody else's opinions of you.
I was looking through Facebook the other day, and I saw our buddy Tony Munjet post about
Have
going.
you seen his car?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
great, man.
He drives a WRX, and
You got the itch again?
and
You're 40.
they're
You're 40
awesome.
now. You're 40. You
But-
got to get a fast car.
His weekends, he loves going to the brand new Subaru
Oh
dealership.
my God, he's becoming my dad.
and he goes
Yeah.
and eat because they provide muffins.
Well, it's
and
so
the-
nice. Have you seen the
Yeah,
brand
yeah.
new Subaru dealership?
And like he'll get an oil change, or like he'll do other like
Check
you know-
my tires. Let's rotate this. Let's change this. He lowered it. He put them. He's been doing all these like customizations to his car. Subies are great, man. We have a lot of listeners that have them. But if you haven't been to that brand new dealership, holy moly,
It's amazing. It's 1800 North John Young Parkway, and
you can't miss it. It's a monstrosity.
Yeah, the property and that it's built on was wetlands that were like litter. They actually brought out 40,000 tons of trash and tires. I mean, they were using it as a dump site.
Yeah, you know what companies do? They just go and throw stuff everywhere. Well, they cleaned all of that up and made it beautiful.
Restored the wetlands there, and then donated back the wetlands to Florida Conservation, and then
so
donated.
don't be dumping your trash here. It's, now it's protected.
They donated money, like $100,000 to the wetlands conservation.
That makes me want to buy a Subaru. It's like they're making the world better.
And then they built this beautiful dealership that has all the technology. If you haven't been by, and if you're looking for a Subaru, go by there. Talk to Mike Stacks. That's our hookup over
Go
there.
see Stacks and buy yourself a Subi, man.
Yeah. They have merchandise wall. They got a kid area. It's gigantic.
Yeah,
the amount of bays and like
it's air conditioned, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
When you pull into the service department, there's a computer that checks your tread on your tires and it displays it up on TV.
Everything.
Everything.
All the stuff I love, man.
Yeah. So again, talk to Mike Stacks. Also, if you're looking for a Chevy, I have a Silverado. J.C. Harrelson at Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont. He's our hookup up there.
Maybe you want a Corvette.
Exactly. So it's Subaru, the brand new dealership, 1800 North John Young Parkway, and Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont.
Like American, it's good ass American Lucero, brand new Lucero. Making if we make it. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom. Let's do some dumping.
All right, man. I feel like it's been forever since we've dumped them. Dump them out. Oh, everybody in the chat room's on ChatGPT arguing with it. I've started something terrible. And then somebody said there's a spicier version, and they linked me to it.
Many topics on the list today. It's the end of the motherfucking show. So come on, baby. Let's dump them out and play. I want to see your topics. Ooh, I want to also see your bottom mix.
Tom's thinking I'll kill himself.
Should we do
I was just reading the topics. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Should we do a sleep set where it says topics across your titties and then bottomics on the end?
Well,
100%.
let's just say Eric Merchman might have something in the
sleep
works.
set.
Not a sleep set, though.
I want a
We don't
sleep.
have a
I want
sleep set in the
I want
works.
lingerie. I want lingerie football league.
I'll
is what
take a
I want.
two-piece bikini.
Well, that's not the we want to talk about that.
Let's go right to it. I got it right here.
Okay.
Lingerie football league. Look at that.
Before we start-
original lingerie football league.
Is there a knockoff?
I don't know. Tom and I are just daydreaming.
They're in like Ross Dress for Less
We were
lingerie.
pretending we were still in the monsters and just surfing the internet trying to find something to read.
If you want any sort of branding, thedangerbrain.com. They've done our branding for
love 'em.
over a decade, and they do all our logos and everything that you know about Tom and Dan. And
They can do
help,
yours too. They can help you create a cohesive brand.
have helped dozens of other companies that we've worked with. It's thedangerbrain.com. The Lingerie Football League. Okay, my question was to everybody, okay, the person that wants to go to the Lingerie Football League
I'm right here.
is, we could all
Those dirty old
imagine,
men, right?
something
No,
like
you're
that.
not. No, you're not. You're just a fan of ladies. You're a fan of football, and you like a reasonably priced draft
Well,
beer.
they have a women's football league. We don't have that.
I don't want to see the Uggos. I want to see.
So, okay.
I want to see top tier women that care about their bodies, fitness models. I want to see the female form in its most athletic shape, fighting with pigskin and Bud Light. That's
Okay,
what I
all
want.
right.
I don't want Uggos. I don't want Big O's.
Because they actually, the women
I don't want
in the
Warren
Lingerie
Sapp.
Football League, they try hard and they are athletes.
They play,
They
yeah.
play. And like athletes, but they try and they can play football. It's not just like
They're not good at it, but they can play.
Yeah. No, some of them
I'm
are
going through
good.
some of the photos here.
I've seen, if you watch it, like the quarterbacks can pass the ball.
Okay,
and,
the
like, they know
original-
some plays, and they're trying their hardest, and it's not just a pillow fight out. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Hold
so
on,
my point
you had
is,
me
what
at
do you
pillow
want?
fight.
Yeah, right.
Well, hold on. Did
Versus
you know
pillow
that
fight league.
the uniforms consisted of a sports bra and underwear that were more revealing than protective? The uniforms had lace and ribbons, and the athletes had to wear garters. The uniforms have received much criticism for their revealing nature. In one famous article, Sarah Spain, the co-host, wrote, "After watching these women play, I can honestly say that I respect the hell out of them as athletes, but I still won't appreciate this lingerie league, or however it's called."
Yeah,
You're
because
probably a no-go.
we've talked to these people before that put this on.
Look at them playing. Look
and
at
the
that.
women that are playing, they're like, we take it seriously. We know the whole bit behind it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about the people that buy tickets and go to there. What are you doing?
I got some footage.
There
Let me
are
ask
strip
you.
clubs that have. Yeah, I know this is cheaper than a strip club, but there's other places you could see women in lingerie.
There you go.
Back an already competitive football market in our
What are they
city.
doing?
Along with franchises in Toronto, Abbotsford, and Regina, they make up the
Regina?
Callaghan Lingerie Football League. Currently in
Do they
their
tackle?
inaugural
No,
season,
it's-
there
okay,
has
it's
been
flag,
an all-out
right?
Man,
blitz.
that
They used to
recruit
tackle.
and
There used to be a
women
tackling
that
That
version.
girl will
mostly new
fuck
to the
you
game.
up.
No, I know.
wish she'd fuck me up. Oh, my God. Son of a face.
You're the
Look at her
problem.
fucking arms, dude.
I know.
Yeah,
Wrap
no,
them around my
woo.
neck and squeeze me good. Just choke me out and throw me in the street.
Let me ask you a question. What is it called? Is it called the Real Good Ladies Football League?
Thank you.
I know.
Finally, we
It's
have an
about the
intelligent man here.
lingerie.
And
Yeah,
aren't
it's
you
about the
embar-
lingerie.
Yeah.
Aren't you embarrassed to tell your friend, like, I'm going to the
No.
Lingerie Football League
No.
game
I
this
would
weekend?
I would gladly, Uncle Danny would gladly
No,
take
come on.
Tommy and Max to their first lingerie football. I would gladly sneak them a little Bud Light. Uncle Danny's there because their dad's too much of a pussy to take them to the game.
Like,
You wouldn't go with Tommy and Max and take them to lingerie football?
I think-
Me, you, the Grizz, Hank.
I think Tom and I probably have the same problem, which is that this would be a hard sell to the wife.
You don't tell the wife. You don't tell the wife.
Well-
I think Andrea would let me go, and maybe I did hit the lottery, guys. Maybe I did. I don't know. Andrea doesn't seem to give a fuck about anything. She's very logical, and she's like, yes, it's lingerie football. I know you don't care. You'll go there, you'll get a boner, and then you'll come home.
Will you
like,
though? But
no, I won't get a boner.
But the thing
it's
is,
fun.
because they're not like I said, it's not a pillow fight. They're actually actually trying real hard. So
They do play, yeah.
So it's,
Yeah, but titties are bouncing.
yeah,
But
it's an
have
odd-
you
it's an odd-
seen Instagram? Ladies have empowered themselves now, and Instagram is nothing but women bouncing their titties and doing sheer shirts.
Again,
And
you have a different algorithm.
I'm just
I
saying,
don't
but
have
these
that.
ladies
it's
are
not
doing
that.
it. Nobody's forcing them to do it. Nobody's exploiting
No,
them.
yeah.
They're choosing to do it to make money. My point is, these ladies are choosing to do it too. Oh my God, it's your
Lord
argument
knows they
from
don't get
earlier.
paid enough to do
it's
that.
Tom's argument from earlier. You know what? We should go into business.
It's nothing. It's their fault.
Yeah, it is their fault. They chose to run at this, and if I happen to be in the
who
stands,
I'm gonna look at their
yeah,
titties.
I'm the collateral.
Okay,
They're
yeah.
they're
It's
putting
fine.
their titties into my face.
It's all fine. I'm just
Perfectly
saying.
fine.
Very
Aren't you
good.
embarrassed?
Very.
Aren't you embarrassed? That's what I'm saying. You're sitting
I'm
there-
not. I really. Is that
You're like, what am I doing here?
does that make me?
Who's there?
Let's talk this out. Let's talk this out. If I would go there by myself.
No, you wouldn't.
I would.
You wouldn't. You
I
don't
would.
know. You don't do it.
I would do it.
It's there. Do
It's
it.
not in Orlando. I would go to the Citrus Bowl
was.
and sit there, and I would do a game. I would go there and sit there and watch the game, and then go home. And then what? Are you going to go like, hey, this guy went to the Lingerie Football League?
No, but-
nobody's going to clown. Nobody's going to say I'm a bad person for doing that.
No, who cares? But
Understand
why'd you
that
go?
this hurts me to say. Tom is right. You do when you go to a thing that you like, and there's 40,000 other people there that also like it, and you look in the faces of all these other people, you learn something about yourself. Like when I went to the weekend show in Tampa,
Yes.
I was thinking ahead of time. I was like, oh shit, I never get to talk about the weekend with anybody. Nobody I know fucking likes the weekend at all. I'm going to be in this stadium and when I looked out there and saw it was all like 15 to 16-year-old girls, I was like, what the fuck does this say about me?
Yeah, but you didn't give it up.
No! Of course not. I
Thank
still
you.
fucking love the
You
weekend.
know what? You should be on our show sometimes because you and I get along. You know what? I'm writing your name down. Who are you?
ChatGPT.
Pay attention to the commercials of whatever program you're watching. That'll tell you who's watching.
Oh, we did get the night court report.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, you have to listen to ACT for
Yeah.
that.
It's the Midwest. That's who's watching it. Some shit.
All right, let's look at our list here. What do we got?
First thing on the list, chicken nugget burrito.
This was embarrassing.
We found out that
to me, this is more embarrassing than lingerie football.
on the menu over at the Van
Because
House, they make chicken nugget burritos.
Well, I was trying to make something for my family. I was asking these guys like, "Hey, what are you guys having for dinner? I got to make something for dinner." I was like, "Is anybody?" I think I asked, "Does anybody here make burritos at home?" I don't make burritos at home, and Tom says, "I make burritos. Made burritos for the boys last night."
Yeah, they like burritos, but they like only what they eat, which is rice, cheese, avocado, and fake chicken nuggets that I chop up in there. And because they don't like the spicy, fake meat or whatever, like the
they don't
the
want
taco
like a Mexican.
seasoning.
Well, then you didn't make a burrito. You made a wrap.
Yes, yeah,
The
yeah,
wraps.
yeah. We call it a burrito, but it's it's just
Well,
a
it's not.
bunch of
It's
the
not a
shit that they eat: the bland chicken nugget, rice, and cheese.
I do love a good fake. Like a vegetarian chicken nugget, man, I'll butt fuck a vegetarian chicken patty or a nugget. Dude,
The spicy patty is the
it's
way
great.
to go.
They're great.
Yeah.
I don't even know what is it. The chicken nuggets that are not chicken nuggets,
I
they're
don't know.
delicious. But what are they?
It's just
Is it plant proteins?
Yeah, it's probably soy protein.
yeah, it's soy protein.
Does that give me
and then-
titties?
yeah.
What is that? I like
No,
it though.
no,
I
that's
don't
fine.
care. I'll eat
Protein's
it.
protein.
Yeah.
By the way, I got recently those Beyond chicken nuggies,
They're
the
good.
kid ones,
They're
whatever.
good.
They are exactly the same as
the pink paste
some
ones.
frozen
Yeah.
chicken nuggies you
100%.
buy, and everything. And that tells me that they will all be that because. The fact that one is real ground up chicken parts and one's plant
Actually, that sounds worse to me than the
yes,
veggie.
of course,
Yeah, I'm
of
with
course
you.
it is, and it only be time
It's
before.
just feet. If we want to eat
Yeah.
feet or veggie proteins, I'll take the veggie proteins.
When
I
it comes
watched the
to
video of hot dogs being made the other day, and I was like, I thought it'd be a lot worse.
Yeah, it isn't as bad as
Nah,
people say.
yeah.
The nugget one with the pink paste is worse than the hot dog.
But that
one.
one's designed to make
Yeah,
you gross for nuggets.
Yeah, it's
that
almost
one
like
is
they
targeted.
framed it that way.
Absolutely.
You're right. You're
Is
right.
it fava bean?
Yeah, fava bean.
Yeah.
I had a nice.
Also,
I ate his liver with a nice.
F-A-B-A.
Well, fava beans.
Fava bean protein. That's what it's made out
I ate
of.
his liver with a nice Chianti
Well,
and some fava beans.
don't vegetarians use that for a lot of stuff? Like they can make. It's that I forget what that stuff's called. They use it for a lot of different treats that they make.
replica meat.
Yeah, they use the fava bean. Like you could almost make like a paste out of it, or I don't know what you call it.
Yeah.
And a lot of this stuff that says pea protein, I think they call a lot of stuff pea. It's
Squirt is pea. I heard that.
What's next here?
A listener
protein.
playing lawn care simulator.
Oh, okay. So Tom said that nobody in our listening audience like goes to a job and then does that job And, the Grizz is calling me right now.
Should we take it live on air?
I don't know. Why is the Grizz
Grizz
calling
emergency.
me? Zach Grizz.
I like how he doesn't even know. Put him on the
Hold
speaker.
on, I'll put him on speaker. Hold on. Grizz.
He's probably trying
Grizz,
to
you're
call
on
Tom.
speaker. Grizz, we're on the show right now, buddy.
Oh, shit.
Hold on,
Glad it wasn't ACT.
Zach, can you hear me?
Yeah.
How long have I been doing a mediocre time with Tom and Dan on Fridays? I'll tell you, it's been 12 years.
Well,
12
years! Did he know that we changed the time to noon?
It used to be at 2.
Yeah, it used to be 2.
I'm
hold
giving
on.
Grizz an out.
Yeah, see,
I'm here for you, Grizz.
Okay, even if it
schedule.
even if it used to be in 2, it's 15 more minutes before we start
Yeah,
the show.
but you're always on the phone right before the show.
Well, Daniel, though, he called Daniel.
That
he
is
likes
odd.
me. He
That
likes
is
me
odd.
more than you.
How'd you forget?
He doesn't yell at me just to say hi.
Yeah, this guy's a dickhead.
I'm just saying.
And this guy
It's
also,
your fault, Grizz.
This guy's a victim-blaming dickhead.
All I'm saying, it's the Grizz's fault. All I'm saying is that if I knew the Grizz, I don't, like he was in the Air Force, right? If I knew he was flying some plane or radio or whatever the hell bullshit job, if he did that every year or every week on Fridays,
You'd leave him
for
alone on
12
Fridays.
years,
Yeah.
I would have. Now I don't know too much about my friends or what the hell they do, but I think I would eventually pick that up. And like the Grizz does something every Friday at around this time for 12 years. I won't call him.
Now, this is the Grizz. Are we sure he knows it's Friday?
Oh, he's an like nice gray-haired old man now. Oh, sorry.
TC, there's a good chance you don't even know when your kids go to school every morning.
Oh, how dare
Wow.
you! How dare you!
You can tell he knows he's fucked up. Personal attacks.
That time.
Listen, don't start bringing up my past indiscretions.
Hey, do you want me to call you after
That's
the
what
show?
Andrew Callaghan said.
Hey, can I call you after my haircut at 5?
Yeah,
All right.
I was just calling to tell you about the podcasting stuff with Becca's family.
Okay, great.
Oh, that's right. Grizz is going to
God.
start his own
Yeah, Grizz is
podcast.
starting a podcast. I'll call you later, okay?
Later.
All right, buddy.
The
Later.
Grizzly Podcast.
Yeah, it's the Grizz.
Also,
If you want conservative talk, it's the Grizz. What's up, everybody? I'm better than louder than Crowder. It's Grizz on your piz.
there's like 10,000 videos that'll tell you exactly everything.
You need
how
to know.
start but it's just saying, like, all the information is there. I was going to yell at them. I saw on the BDM page.
Yeah.
I have to hold myself back. But
You're so mean,
don't
man.
hold
You're
yourself
so
back.
This guy's so
I'm
fucking
not.
mean. He's naturally becoming mean.
Someone asked some question on the BDM page that was, I'm like, what? You could easily just Google this question and find out all the answers.
Yeah, but
in
that's
the
what we
world.
tell you when you ask us shit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was literally going to say you do this every day.
To me and Sam, you'll be like, hey, what's
Every
that
day.
thing? And a thing.
Half
And I'm
the
like,
show is you posing a question that anyone could just Google.
that's actual real audio, too. What's that thing? And a thing.
Well, this, I'm live on the air. I can't Google it. I'm just talking
You have a
about my ass.
fucking computer in front of you.
Yeah, but Sam will do it for you, and then she'll tell me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
He
saying-
does have a computer. I've never seen him touch it.
No, it's
He forgot how to use it.
It's like an IKEA prop.
It's
An
hilarious.
IKEA computer.
Well, I can't stop the show and just Google
I
it.
don't
Everybody
stop
He does it all the fucking time.
I've been typing for 13 years. You told Grizz that. 13 fucking years I've been doing this shit.
just ask the computer. What are you doing?
What else do we have?
The What
wait,
is
I
a
didn't do that
Juggalo
one.
song.
No, wait, I didn't do that one.
Oh, that's
Hold
right.
on.
We didn't get to the listener.
We didn't get to the list. Okay, I just want to show this. I just
Yeah.
want to show this.
Grizz threw
because
us off there.
I saved this. This is from a listener. Boom. I put it up. I don't think I put it on the computer, but it says LOL. And to what Tom said, no one wants to do what they do for a living and then play a game of it. Well, I'm a lawn care worker, and sometimes I sit down and play Lawn Mower Simulator. LOL. That's fun shit.
Well, you're insane.
There we go. Good exchange.
I do. There are insane people out there. There
are.
but
That's
I
true.
still can make the broad statement that I feel like 99.9% of other lawn care professionals don't go home and then play a video game or some simulator of
Mike
them.
B says I play Restaurant Simulator all the time.
DeBerry Joe, good game as a lawn guy.
Yeah. Also, I have started
It's turning against you, Tom.
I have started an army of Train Simulator 3 players. I have guys all across North America that are playing Train Simulator 3 because of me.
That's different. If you're
We're
a train
running the
conductor,
rails. Ross, it's
That
so
sounds fun.
good. Ross, I'll link you. It's so good. It's on Xbox.
It's on Xbox?
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
and it's free. It's on. It's like they put it on Game
Looks like
Pass.
we're the
Weirdos.
outliers
Yeah,
here
you
because
are.
everybody in the chat says that they
PC building simulator.
pilots play flight sim.
Flight sim. Yeah.
Okay.
Hair
I write
cutting
for a
sim.
living and I write on my off time.
NBA players play
hold on.
Y2K all the time.
Yeah, I understand pilots play
Mover simulator. You get that for Crystal. She can go back
I
to
did
her
that
past.
one. It's hard. It's harder than you think.
Yeah, you can't
So-
fuck anything up,
Yeah.
or you
So-
won't get paid.
Are you guys trying to tell me
I may
that
have driven the truck through the front door.
it's normal
Goat simulator.
if you mow yards all day long to
Goose.
go home and get on your computer and then mow a computer yard? Like that's why? Why? Do you love to, like?
Tell me why.
Do they
It's
love
back.
mowing so much that they have to do it all
Maybe it's like meditation.
100% of their
Turn your
time?
brain
Now, are
off.
you going to sit here and look me in the eyes and tell me you don't have anything dumb you do to like
I know he
unwind? That
does.
doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yes,
I was.
but it's not, has nothing to do with the work I do. That's the whole point of unwinding.
Yeah,
right?
but you do business all the time. You're always doing business stuff.
Well, that's yes,
That's your hobby.
No, but then I'll go into gambling, and that's
yeah, but I think you use gambling as a way to sharpen the gambling aspects of business, because he's always applying the same, I gotta find an edge, I gotta find an edge here. And you're always morphing your gambling terms into business terms.
Yeah.
So I think that's just a smokescreen for you doing the same shit that these guys are doing.
No.
Gambling is the business as fucking mower simulator is to the Barry Joe's lawn care service.
What are you trying to do?
Boom.
You're trying to make money in both instances.
And
It's the
also-
exact same trying to do.
You're a podcaster and you listen to podcasts about gambling.
Yeah, but
Yeah, who would do that? If you're a podcaster, you're
Why
not
do you
supposed to
listen
listen
to
to podcasts.
podcasts?
I don't listen to podcasts. I listen to music.
because it's a way for me to get information, and
I think you're crazy. Only a crazy person would listen to
No.
podcasts after podcasting all week. I listen to music, right?
No,
Isn't that what he does?
Because it's listening to information about the NFL or gambling is completely different than what this business is. You know what I'm saying? Like mowing a virtual yard is pretty goddamn close to actually mowing a yard.
It's nothing like it. You've never even played the game. You can't even make that statement.
Well,
I see the problem here.
I'm saying you're simulating the same thing.
You don't love what you do. You secretly want to be hosting an NFL podcast.
I
These
don't.
guys.
Yeah, he pretends he's Bill Simmons.
These
He
guys
does talk about it a lot.
They
Yeah, he
love
does.
lawn care. They get done with lawn care. They want to get
Passionate.
right back into
They're
it.
passionate. Maybe this is just a showing your flaw.
I'm sure there are people that love lawn care, but oh man, this is going to make a lot of them mad. But I think that the people
This is a podcast of you making people mad.
Cool.
Keep
Yeah,
going.
This is called Dig Your Heels In today. I like this.
I would assume
People say we should name this episode Trigger Warning.
That's a great
why
show,
is it
by the
weak?
way. Killer Mike show. I think it's called Trigger Warning.
Yeah.
That's a good ass show.
All I'm saying is most of
Got a
the
bunch.
lawn care professionals that I see around, right? And I see,
I'm gonna
I
agree
see them
with
at the
you.
gas station or whatever. If I went up and asked them,
Yeah, but that's not our
they're
listener.
eating
Our
a
listeners are
taquito,
weirdos.
Or they're it's in the morning. I see them at 7-Eleven. At my 7-Eleven.
Well, most of them are like, I just mow the grass.
If I ask them, like, hey,
I don't have a computer.
how much do you
I'm
love
just
this?
being honest. That's what's going to happen.
If someone, if,
Long way. Simulator way.
yeah, would you like to go home on?
You don't want me to move my truck? I'm sorry, I'm nagging. That's happened to me this morning.
When you're done with this hard ass fucking job, would you like to get home and unwind by getting on a computer and
Maybe
mowing
you
a
would,
virtual
but
lawn?
I can make an argument that
Half
maybe,
of them would punch me in the face.
No, I think maybe there's a group of people that enjoy what they're doing, but they
Right.
don't like being in the hot sun. They enjoy the lines. They enjoy making the bushes look.
Like a
there's a certain
psychological aspect of-
satisfaction, right? That was on the list. One of the things I put on the list is machine tricking us with satisfaction. 3D printing. I've come to the conclusion that 3D printing is nothing more than me sitting in front of something. I'm doing nothing. I drag a file, an STL file, into the thing. I resize it, and it just does the work. But when it, like last night, I made Maisie a World Cup trophy, the golden trophy for World Cup, but I made a little one for her room, right? She thought it was like the coolest thing. And I gave it to her, and then I realized that I am not doing anything, that the 3D printer has tricked me into thinking I'm doing something. So as it does the work, I get the chemical dump of the satisfaction of completing the task, right? The task was make a model of the World Cup trophy. If I had to do that, I could use clay and do it, and once it was done, I'd get a chemical dump of, look at my trophy. But this thing does it for me, where I can just sit there like a big fat piece of shit, and it makes it, and then I get it, I give it to Maisie, and I still get the chemical dump of, look what I did. And that's not good.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just different. Maybe I should just say that.
I was there's another local comic in town, Jake Ricca. He's got a podcast called Get Wrecked about video games, and we were just talking about the fact
he does good videos.
He does really good videos.
His videos are super funny.
He's
We gotta
internet
get him on
famous.
here.
He's famous. I'll give you.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
So we were talking, and I had a realization about myself that I play this game on my phone called like Chopped with Gordon Ramsay or some shit like that, and it's not fun. It's not interesting. It's not good in any way. I don't like it at all. But I play it so that when I clear a level, a little computer, Gordon Ramsay, comes up and says, "Good job, Ross. You chopped those onions." And there's a dopamine hit.
Yeah.
And then I play another level of a game
Chasing
I don't
chemicals,
enjoy at all. And maybe I lose this time, and Gordon Ramsay comes up, "You fucking donkey. You can't do better." You know, like,
roll.
I'm just playing to have Gordon Ramsay either compliment me or yell at me, a game I don't even like.
All these games are designed to be addictive, right? And then some of them are designed to, like how we evolved and our brains evolved. We like storing stuff for later, and because that's what we had to do to survive, right? You get resources, you store them. Whoever has the most resources will live through the winter. Things like that. And then there are games designed where it's like you're constantly doing, like you're constantly progressing, storing stuff, building, like Clash of Clans and all these different games.
You used to killing that, dude. You destroyed me in Clash of Clans.
And it's just a never ending. You're building something, you're storing something, you're getting points. It's all like some psychological effect that we're addicted to.
See, they tapped into something more basic though. I was at Costco the other day, and I was watching this dad shopping, and he had an Apple Watch on and a baby and like the cart, facing him.
Yeah,
and the baby was just fucking with his watch. Like, this is like a little baby, had no idea what it was doing. It could, there's no way it was like playing with an app or anything.
Yeah.
It was just, and I was just like fascinated, like, there's a baby and it's into this watch, and for what it doesn't have, it couldn't talk to you. If you like put a TV in front of it, it'd be confused. Like, can't read a book. But whatever, this watch, it was, it was into it.
Does it make you think
engaging
that the
with
baby's seen him swipe his phone or swipe his watch, and the baby's just going to pick those things up and just...
It made me think, like, Apple has something, they have tapped into something to where even babies want to do it, not knowing what it fucking is. What is that?
Well, a baby will push buttons. I mean, a rat will push a button to...
But a baby will also ignore shit, too. You try to get a baby to play with, like, a baby toy, they'll ignore it and not play with it.
Well, it's on our list, too. There's dog mats where you can get the dogs to talk. You can get cats to talk.
What's this?
They have these mats now, and you can
with buttons on them that have words, so they can talk to you.
And then what you do is
I can't believe you haven't heard of this.
You program each button to say something. Like some of them say, like "Mama, go,
yes,
food,
walk,
yes, no, outside," and then the dog will go and step on an order of them, and it'll be like, "Mama, go outside. Mama, go outside." That's actually pretty good. I was impressed. I'm fucking Michael Winslow.
If I see this in your house, I'm judging you.
I'm buying one. I'm going to buy one. I
will think less of you.
So this mat replaces my dog walking to the door? And
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Guess what? Your dog can walk up and be like, and some of them say stuff like the one of them I watched.
They'll say the toy they want to play with.
The one I watched, the dog walked up and it goes, "Mama, hurt, foot. Mama, hurt, foot, 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 foot. Mama, foot. And then they pick up the dog and they look at its paw. It had a fucking splinter in its foot.
Bullshit. That's not real.
Why is foot on that mat, first of all? Like, why'd you teach your dog to say foot?
Well, don't tell me that. I just bought the button that says foot.
No.
I bought the foot button. I bought hand. I bought foot. I bought hand. I bought tummy.
It doesn't
I bought rubs.
We get to buy individual buttons?
Yeah, and you can program them. You get them and you can do your own voice, or you can do Mr. T.
This reminds me of Sign with Your Baby.
Hey, sucker. Mama, go outside, sucker. Mama, sucker. Mama, sucker.
Did you guys fall for Sign with Your Baby when you had kids?
Yeah, Maisie did all the more, and then she did, she did
water,
all of that.
weight.
But then I was like, I told Andrea one day, I was like, she's not fucking deaf.
I didn't do any of that.
You tried to get him to learn Spanish, but it didn't stick.
I told her, I was like, she's not fucking deaf. Let's get her talking.
It was for when they were pre-verbal, though. That was the
being
thing.
stupid.
Yeah. I was looking at like it wasted your time because they'll be talking.
Wasted like $150 fucking bucks. Too. It was a lot of money.
Like,
sometimes I'll catch her doing it though.
I'm like, in 6 months, this baby could talk.
I'll do water still.
Yeah. I do it in a movie theater.
Let's do one more.
You want to do the Juggalo song?
No, that's too long. We'll have to save that one. That's too good. I want to do world's craziest porn because I want to get your opinion. I found a porn.
Has Pirates been surpassed?
This is crazy. This is a concept I'd never seen before. I told Sam about it this morning. I'm just wandering through pornos, and there's a category I don't understand. And I know that's weird coming from me.
I can't believe you make porn all day, and then you go home and watch porn.
I know,
that's
it's hard.
Crazy.
Yeah, I play Porn Simulator. So
Do you think porn stars watch porn?
Oh,
Yeah,
they have to.
100%.
They have to.
That's different in my mind because
What?
That's the exception. We found the exception.
Tom Van versus Tom Van Go.
yeah. Well, because I guess it's kind of the same.
Tom Van wins. Tom Van wins.
Why did you crash it into the mouth?
For some reason, that's acceptable to me, but the other one isn't.
Dude, I just want to know, was it like a super quick argument, or was it a long argument in a short space of time? Whatever happened in your head.
It's still going. I'm still figuring it out.
His eyes, it's like ChatGPT. He's still typing.
He paused, smoke came out his ears. And he,
Okay, so in this the category I'm talking about, and don't give me heat, don't at me. I'm not into this, but there is a category called free use.
yeah.
And the category free use is the guy. Typically, I haven't seen it reverse where it's the girl. I'm
You're
sure there are
watching
that.
straight porn, though.
Right.
So,
Correct. But it's the guy just goes up and they'll be having a conversation with like a girl. And you're like, hey, how was your day? And he'll just nonchalant just lift up her skirt and just start pumping her while they're talking. And it's the idea of that she's just there
So
for him to
found
use.
my videos.
Yeah. But then in this one, it said,
And I think this comes out of cartoons. I saw this first as like a Japanese cartoon type of thing where like it's like an open world scenario and free use.
oh,
basically.
Boston BDM says, dude, I've been free use crazy. Don't say
Hold
that.
on, I've seen.
It's the
I've
weird.
seen the ones where they're on the phone with somebody, right? And they're like,
Okay, that's a variation.
That's different. That's
I'm on the phone with my dad, and you're pumping me. I'm on the phone with my husband. You're pumping me.
Right.
This is different.
The
This
boyfriend's
is,
on the computer right there playing a video game and he can't see like a foot away.
This is not good. This is like girl is standing there with mom. And stepdad walks in and just starts pumping them both, and they're not saying a word about it. It's free use. It's like they're just there for
Every
sex only.
14-year-old boy has had this fantasy of what if I could have sex with literally anybody I wanted.
and
But
no
you
one
know
will
what?
say
Yes.
But I've never, you know what? Unfortunately, I agree with you, but the difference in that is I would want them to be engaged in sex with me. I wouldn't want them to be like typing on a computer while I'm pumping away. That's weird to me. So anyway,
you're emotional.
Right.
Like, for
I
me,
am.
I'm like, what?
He wrote it down. He wrote down free use on his pad. I saw him do it.
I wish my life was like this.
So anyway, the category I'm getting to is crazy. It said stepdad ghost free use.
All right.
So in this video,
is it Ghost Dad?
They're they're at a funeral. I can't play any of it. They're at a funeral. I tried. I was going to get it. Like I was like, it's just too far gone. They're at a funeral of the dad. There's a casket, and the porn actor's in there laying in the casket. And then it's a mom and this daughter, and then like daughter's friends, and then you see him through poor cinematography become a ghost. And then he comes out of the casket, and then he does the free use where he just starts fucking everyone looking into the casket. And it's the only time I've ever shut my... I was like, well, I think I found the end. That's the end. I did it. I watched them all. That's it.
That's the end of the
That's the last one.
Well, there are certain...
I saw the final
I
episode.
got free use taboo ghost.
Yeah, I saw the last video, and it's the dad. He turns into the ghost, and he fucks everyone in the line looking into his casket. That's the last porn video ever made.
I feel like that's just a religious text, like that's somebody's idea of the afterlife.
Is this in the same category as the newscaster?
Yes, where she's just standing there and she's
she's presenting the news.
Yeah, she's a participant and the guys are coming on their head.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It's like
or
that's
they
free use.
Sex,
I don't like that term free use. That's almost like it's very rapey, man. It's gross. But like,
we're just objects.
Yeah, it's a thing. And this one, when I saw this one, I just gently put it down and I was like, I got to the end of the videos. And I've seen them all.
It's less rapey than.
No, it's not rapey. They're
no. But I'm saying
it's less rapey than Andrew Callaghan.
Yeah.
Well, also less rapey than because there's a category I feel like that's Venn diagrammy with this where it's stop time.
Hi,
have you seen the
my
stop
name
time
is
one?
Vincent
What's stop time?
Diagrammy.
Stop time is...
Vincent
So you just like
diagramming.
freeze and then they bang the frozen person?
Yeah. You're like,
Oh, wait
that
a minute.
is
I
real.
invented that. I invented the freeze.
There's a whole bunch of, like, they have some sort of freeze thing, and then...
Oh, the hypnotized ones.
That also comes from, like, childhood, right? Where kids are like, if you had a superpower, what would it be? And I'm like, oh, I'd be...
invisible. I stand
Or
aside
I
at the
freeze
shower.
time and then put my balls on somebody's head. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it's worse than that.
I know.
I'd be shitting on everybody.
Yeah, it goes out.
I would. First thing I would do invisible is I'd walk out of here naked. I'd just shit on everything.
You know, the worst part about it is they unfreeze and they're still nude. And they're like, don't do that. Trauma.
Yeah, put the clothes back on.
I like that's where he draws the line.
You're supposed to put their clothes back on.
Have some respect.
Put their clothes on. Put a drink in their hand. Set them up in a chair. Wipe them down. Use a washcloth to wipe their thighs.
Give them a medal. Make them think they won something or something.
Exactly. Write them a note. Write them a note to themselves. That
I don't know.
You're the best.
Leave them better than you found them. That's all I'm saying. It's like the wilderness.
Yeah, leave only footprints.
It feels like I got raped, but I
Take
got
only
gold
memories.
at it.
Take only memories. Leave only footprints.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it was like there was only one set of footprints. That's because I was carrying you the whole time.
Oh
treat
my
it like
God.
a state park.
Ross said, I feel like I got raped, but I got gold at it.
He said, "Give him a medal."
I know.
It's all fantasy.
You're number one. All right, let's get out of here. My God.
All right.
There's a lot of bad today.
What the hell happened?
We may have
today?
ruined it. I don't know why did we do this. We made it worse. All right.
I blame the Grizz.
Yeah. Although it started before that.
I know.
So, semantics. You got any episodes this weekend?
Yeah, tonight actually I'm going to do an episode with Derek. Usually we do a You Heard About This one, but I've done zero research for any episodes because I was on vacation.
ChatGPT.
Well, we're actually going to do Yassint, which is kind of a subsect where we just talk kind of like what we've been watching. So
Oh, okay. Very cool.
tune in to that. That'll come out Sunday.
And that's free.
That is free.
But you know what? You should really sign up for the Patreon and help her out.
It does help. Thank you.
Put a little coin in the pocket.
Ross, any new Tots with Ross?
Yeah, Tots with Ross with Noel Miller. You might know him from Tiny Meat Gang.
Yeah.
Good interview with him. He just came to town recently. Come see me at the Bull and Bush Wednesday nights at 9.
Damn, you got him. We couldn't get him.
Yeah, and we tried.
Yeah, we were going back and forth.
There may have been a confrontation of the week with that. Maybe I'll tell you guys that.
Every time.
Not with Noel. Not with Noel. Noel, great guy. Good interview. We had a lot of fun. His PR people, fucking amazing.
Oh man, they're great.
Come see me at the Bull and Bush Wednesday nights at 9 for open mic. I've been booking different hosts for that. It's been a lot of fun. We got like 30, 35 people coming out every fucking week for open mic. It's a good show. Shit Sandwich is first and third Saturday every week, of course. The Orlando Talk Show with me, Ross McCoy. Get it on your favorite podcast app. And I just want to give you a heads up. 212. I think this is going to happen at Will's Pub. Matt Woods is coming to town. You guys remember Matt Woods?
Yeah. We'll probably get him to roll through here.
My favorite living country music artist.
You should come in the day he comes in.
I would love to. 212. He's coming to town. He's going to be playing, I believe, Will's Pub again. And we're doing a little comedy ahead of time. It's going to be a comedy / music.
Oh, I might go to that.
Me and like Larry Fulford, maybe a few other people.
Fulford?
And then Matt Woods.
Wow, that'd be heavy to get in there, man. If you're loading it like that.
Any excuse to go see Matt Woods.
Who's opening for Matt? Just comedy?
That I don't know.
Because that's pretty rad, too. I know he had, for the longest time, he was running with Adam.
We had him in,
Yeah, he was great. I forget the guy's name, though. Deep voice, like a big barrel-chested.
Like literally a time-transplanted 50s rockabilly guy.
Yeah, and he was like 7 foot tall.
Yeah,
he was awesome.
I want to remind everybody that we did a ACT episode that airs tonight with Jim Colbert, where we went to Drive Shack.
I don't think he's going to be associated with us after this episode.
Too bad.
Thankfully,
he already did it.
Can't do anything about that.
So that airs tonight, and
I wasn't done. Don't forget bit.ly /Logan X23 Heart. bit.ly /Logan X23 Heart. Again, if you ever hung out with Mickey, or if you know him at all, even if you just have $20 laying around and you want it to go to a good cause, Logan needs a heart. bit.ly /Logan X23 Heart.
There you go.
Perfect. All right, we'll see you on Monday's BDM show.
Bye-bye. Oh, fellas. Oh, wait a minute. I can't publish that. It's mediocre.